Welcome to Firebreathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. Every episode microplot is a complete adventure with a beginning and an end that fits into the overarching macro plot of the whole season. Because they stand sturdily on their own, you can listen to these adventures in any order and can skip any you don't enjoy. Today, we are playing using the combat mechanics from a game called No Port Called Home. It's our first time playing, so we might make some mistakes. If you enjoy these mechanics, you can find No Port Called Home on itch.io. Build your own No Port Called Home character and play a game with friends. Speaking of friends, today we are joined by Colette de Winter.
Hello. I'm Colette de Winter. I am a young woman. I have long brown hair with a white streak. My three classes are Sword Fiend, Con Artist, of course, even though I don't always I'm always convincing everybody, and Infiltrator.
Excellent. Tord Unfrid.
Hello, my name is Smartordin Unfrid, Tord for short. I am back home what they call Little Thunder of the Valley. I sit at a fairly stout and high 5'3" for my half-dwarf, half-elf heritage. Young adult, about 23 years of age, about 190 pounds. I have bright blonde hair, white skin, and brown eyes. And today I will be playing a race called the Jotun, and my three classes are Champion, Strategist, and Crescent Staccato.
Perfect. Fennis Lightwall.
Hello all, I'm Fennis Lightwall. You may know me from my many adventure. I am currently a half-fae. Well, currently, I say that like that might change. I am a half-fae. That is true. Which, as it happens, is also a race in No Port Called Home. So isn't that quite a coincidence? So I'm a half-fae, and my three classes are Calibrist, as I believe it's pronounced, Strategist, and Seeker. All of which I feel apply greatly to me. I'm a stark 5'9", a light fellow at 115 pounds, but I suppose that doesn't matter too much now, does it? I have just the brightest blue eyes you might have ever done see, and this muddy green hair that I tie up into a little ponytail in the back. My hair can be a bit messy sometimes, but I like to look somewhat clean. I've got my handy old spectacles on my face, and I always like to wear a little sweater vest and big cloak over the side of my body.
Fantastic. And Ivy Green.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so, I'm Ivy Green. I'm a fairy. I have gorgeous iridescent wings, of course. I'm, kind of short for a fairy, but that's really not important because everybody that's a fairy is, kind of short. I weigh an amount of pounds. I have blonde hair and tan skin, because I'm from Gishup and that's the best tanning place. And I have sapphire blue eyes that sparkle in the sunlight and very fashionable clothes at all times. Thank you very much. And for No Part Called Home, I'm playing a sword fiend, a liaison, and I have an adorable Goliath pangolin named Duchess.
Wonderful. Welcome to your first game.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
You are all in Nikamui, the second largest city in the country of Guaso, having just completed an adventure together. Ah, yes. What a time. Coins jingle in your pockets. The four of you cross a road and walk between two tall buildings. Leaving the bright sunlight of the open street, this alley is darker here and smells of damp. A halfling woman is walking in front of you. A hail of arrows rains down from above, most of them heading towards the halfling woman. Everyone, please make a reflex saving throw.
Wow, things hit the fan quite quickly.
Yes, this escalated quickly.
Fennis asks, out of character, what dice am I rolling again? Hurry.
A D20.
Yes, and add your reflex number. That's your reflex saving throw.
I don't think Tord doing so well over here. Oh, not the one with a +2. That still only works out to, if my math is correct, a 3.
Ivy has gotten an 11. Hopefully that's good enough to avoid getting pierced.
It wasn't her fault, but Colette was very concerned about how her hair looked in the sun, so she only got a total of 8.
Fennis rolled decently. He rolled a 5, but his reflexes are also 5, so that's a 10.
Oh my! All of you are struck by an arrow and take 10 hit point loss damage. Can you all say your current hit points? As the GM, I will note this.
Ivy is at 12 hit points now.
Colette will be at 10.
Tord will be at a 17, falling from a healthy 27.
Fennis has now fallen to a 13.
And the halfling in front of you is really looking terrible. Several arrows are sprouting from below her knee like a pincushion. And she's wailing and clutching her leg. She has like cookies and cream hair is the nice way to say it. And that's what she looks like. She's screaming, "Ah, my leg!" From above you, from the rooftop, you hear, "You think you can borrow from us and not pay back? Think again!" Another arrow whistles through the air. Everyone, I'd like you to roll initiative. Please roll a d20 and add your initiative number to it.
Tord, I have special ability. Everybody rally with me behind Tord. And I'll use my rally ability, so me and all allies gain +1 to our initiative, and if our party would have been ambushed, any special warning or ability that would allow you to act during that surprise round will also allow your enemies to act as well.
Ah,
Nice. With that, Ivy has got an 8 for her initiative.
That's a 9 for me.
I have a 19, not counting my initiative, which is 7. So he has 25 initiative. Fennis is on the ball. He was ready after that arrow.
All right, Fennis. All right.
Colette has a 15.
the turn order is Fennis, then Colette, then Tord, then Ivy. Fennis, you're in an alley. There's a halfling wailing. I'm not going to make that sound because it makes people actually sad. And clutching below her knee as arrows have sprouted from her skin because there's people on the top of the roofs and they are firing them. What do you do?
Okay. So, out of character, to my understanding of the game, I have 2 beats and 1 reaction. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The first thing...
clarify. Sorry about that. I should clarify. You do not see the people. You just see the tops of the roofs and the sky.
So, there are no enemies currently within my purview?
Correct.
That makes me rather stymied.
Party, give him ideas.
We could see if there are any doors nearby to climb into the building and get to the roof.
That sounds like a solid idea.
To do that, you would roll a perception check.
Perception looks to be appropriate.
It's basically the D&D skills, but like with even more logical skills. I'm impressed that there's a no local.
Yeah, no abilities, really.
Yeah, all right. I have the list of skills. Perception. Please roll a perception check, Fennis, if that's what you'd like to do. You can also do something else.
I don't see why not. I'll roll for perception then.
Okay, roll a d20 and add your number, which is 7.
Fennis, great, just awesome perceiver. I rolled an 18, and my perception is 7. So that if my math is correct, I believe that's a 25. Do I see them?
That is amazing. Absolutely. Oh, you see so many things. Everybody, you benefit from Fennis pointing out, 1, there are no doors. 2, there are fire escapes. They're made out of metal and they're rusted. 3, there's a flock of pigeons that was disturbed on that roof there, pinpointing the location of something that disturbed a flock of pigeons. On that roof there, it's on the left, and it's like 30 feet down the roof. And there's a passerby that is completely indifferent to your suffering. They move on.
What did that passerby look like so we can find them later and shake our fingers at them?
I'm glad the citizen has full confidence in our ability to defend them.
As you look up over the roof, you see in the sky a twinkle. Is that the moon? No, it's way too small. That's what you see, Fennis.
Okay. Did rolling that check use up any of my actions, beats per second?
I think it used up a beat.
Okay.
It's my first time playing this game. Listeners, if I'm doing this wrong, correct me. Fellow players, if I'm doing this wrong, let me know.
So I suppose the only correct thing would be to track down those attackers. I shall go to the door under which the attackers be attacking. Fennis is rolling high on his checks, but not very high on his wit, unfortunately.
So you're going... Okay, so there's no doors. It's brick walls on this alley. There's a fire escape, and there's...
no doors.
No doors. And there's a place, like, right there on the left building, 30 feet away from you and up, where a flock of pigeons took off. That's what you saw. No doors. You saw fire escapes. They're metal and rusted. And a flock of pigeons took off from above the left roof.
Oh, I thought you were saying they were locks on doors that were metal and rusted. Okay.
What do you do?
Fennis is open to ideas.
You could start climbing the ladder that's nearest to where the flock of pigeons was startled and go see if you can catch who's ever firing arrows at us.
Yes, climbing. Physical trait that I'm probably quite good at. I would like to climb the wall, please, DM.
The wall?
Or the ladder?
Or the fire ladder? I would
right,
see
there was a
Fennis
ladder.
just try to scale the wall. Just the wall.
Of course, it a little less heroic, but I suppose not all things are. I shall climb the ladder.
That sounds like it is a strength check, and you don't have any bonuses to your strength. So, or maybe if you can describe some other skill, you could use that. But it kind of sounds like a strength check, right?
For climbing a ladder?
Yeah, like one of them like vertical, reach above your head, grab a rung, reach above your head, grab a rung. Yeah, that's a strength check. Okay, roll a d20. What's your result?
Uh-oh. Fennis rolled a 10, so it's 10.
Okay, now that fails. So what happens is you jump up, you grab that ladder of that fire escape. It's metal, it's rusty. The rust flakes off on your palm as you grab it, and so does the ladder. And I'm going to say the whole first floor comes down on your head. You're covered in these metal bars, and this poof of rust comes up, and now the closest fire escape is on the second floor on the building on the left, and you're going to take 1 damage.
1 damage? They were right about me. I do have quite a dense head.
I did find it is 3 beats and 1 reaction per turn.
3 beats. Holy cow, there's 3
Yes.
full beats, like 3 full story beats.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, Fennis, it's still your turn.
Wonderful. Another chance to display my prowess to all people I presumably just met.
Why don't we soak up one of your beats by using your... I'm going to give it to you for free, and just so you can communicate what you learned to your friends. And for everyone listening, Fennis's player is new to tabletop role-playing games, and I don't want him to hate them.
Ah, yes. I've received favor.
I'll say
Okay.
while this is all going on, Tord's preoccupied by everything. He doesn't even see you fall. It looks like he's rummaging through his backpack for something this entire time, too preoccupied with looking for a particular item that he has.
So Fennis calls out, excuse me, everyone. I suppose I should have communicated this sooner, but I have noticed there appears to be some individual on that rooftop over there, where I'm pointing, where I am, as you can assume, I am pointing. So perhaps if any of you have any sort of ability to climb up there or perhaps carry me, I'm quite light.
But perhaps I could give you a little boost, my friend. I'll be right there. 1 second, 1 second.
Sounds good.
Wonderful. Your friends see what you have observed. I'm going to share your result with them, which is that there are no doors. There's a fire escape that starts on level 2. It's metal and rusted. And on the left building, a flock of pigeons took off right where Fennis pointed. Oh, and there's a wailing halfling. My knee! Colette, you're next in the initiative order. What do you do?
Okay, so speaking of the wailing halfling, is there a spot nearby to drop them so they're behind cover?
Oh, like a dumpster. Or like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Or
Let me roll for luck.
whatever. Yeah. Or a wagon. Yeah.
I'm rolling for luck. If this is below 10, there's not one. And if this is above 10, maybe you'll get a wagon full of cabbages. 18. Yes, there's a wagon full of cabbages. Parked behind one of these buildings is a restaurant. And they're going to get a supply delivery soon. Or are they? Let's find out.
Colette will dash. Okay, so this is probably going to be 2 to 3 beats. Because she's going to go towards the halfling, help her, and then help her get to cover. Help the halfling get to cover. So I don't know if that's 2 or 3 you want to say. I think it might be 3.
Moving 2 to 4 meters takes 1 beat.
Yeah.
Thank you. That is excellent. You said like 3 meters, 1 beat?
2 to 4 meters takes 1 beat.
You can definitely make it to the cabbages with your cargo, which is the wailing, my knee, halfling. And she looks incredibly relieved to be in cover with you. I'm going to say that takes your whole turn, but in exchange, you have gratitude from her. So you get all of your social skills are at +2 for interacting with her.
All right, that's her turn.
Fantastic turn. Tord, we're to you now.
Tord a little bit busy looking for something, you guys. Just 1 second. And Tord's rummaging through his backpack. For whatever reason, the strategist gets a signal whistle, a laser pointer, and a whiteboard in their inventory. I didn't think this would be useful, but being bombarded like this, I think Tord pulls out his signal whistle, and just for flavor, he just blows into the whistle, signaling that there's enemies, even though that's very clear, pulls out the whiteboard, and starts drawing up a plan. He's like, okay, we get on first level of the fire escape, and then he hears, he looks up, second level of fire escape, scratch that out quickly, and then Thor goes, okay, he puts the whiteboard away and runs over to the fire escape. Question for the DM, are these fire escapes like the ones where the ladder is like secured, and if you're up top, you could release it and drop the ladder a little bit further down, kind of like a New York style fire escape, or are they just like the height that they're at?
I like the secured one because that makes more sense with burglars. You'd want to be able to pull them up and have them down. I imagine it was down because that is a comment on the state of the neighborhood around here. Like maybe it was broken and it was forever down and no one cared and then it rusted there and yeah.
So imagining that the second one is probably secured, at least at the top, I'm going to say I'll use one of my beats to run over to the fire escape. I'm going to use one of my others. I'm going to see if I can use my crescent staccato. I'm going to pull out Shug, which is a small sugar glider, out of my my front pocket, and I'll pull him out close to my face and go, Shug, do you think you could get up there and just release that ladder for me, buddy? And a little bit of chirps and barks from him, and I'm going to see if I can throw him up. He has the helping hands, which allows him to interact with items for me. I'm going to see if I can get Shug to basically go up there and release the ladder. And then if I can, with my third beat, I'd just like to kind of take a knee with my hands and get ready to boost up one of my teammates to see if I can bring them up to the ladder, basically.
Ooh, which will give you the help action, sort of. You can assist them. I think you can add, was it +2 to their roll?
I believe
Yes.
so.
If it's just aiding, then it is +2, but if it's only cooperating if there's 2 skill checks required, and then you can split those up.
Okay. All right. All of those things happen. The Shug, if you want to describe that, I want to imagine how this little flying squirrel is going to accomplish this.
Yeah, so like Tom Brady, I wind back with Shug in my hand, like really outstretched, and he pulls his arms out like a stunt man with a wingsuit on, and I throw him as hard as I can up onto the balcony, and it looks like he's going to miss at first, but he pulls up a little bit and catches a bit of wind and lands perfectly on the second balcony, and then he takes his little tiny sugar glider hands, and you can hear him barking and squeaking up top, and then after a couple seconds you hear clink, and the ladder comes slamming down.
Again, on
I am
Fennis's head.
obsessed with Shug. I am obsessed with him.
Right close to Fennis.
Well done.
Quite fashionable.
That's awesome. Ivy, you're up.
Ivy is clapping, and she's like, "Oh my God, go Shug! You killed that! I'm so proud of you." I have a question about: are my wings actually usable, or are they just for fabulous looks.
Mechanically, can you fly?
That is a question.
Does anything about your race or classes let you fly?
In no port called home, no, I am technically a human.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to say you can hover to slow your fall. Like you're the sugar glider of the group for falling damage purposes.
I'll take it. Thank you. Great. Then I will have Duchess move over to where the ladder is, and I will stand on top of Duchess to grab the ladder and then start to climb my way up.
How tall is Duchess?
Duchess is as tall as a giant pangolin would be.
1 story or 2? Because the first floor of ladder is gone.
That's an excellent question. It does take me 3 beats to mount my pangolin, so that is at least, where was it?
9 meters plus or minus 3.
Yes.
9 meters. So we're saying all of the time for mounting is the height difference, and that the height difference is 3 times 3 times 3 feet, which is 27 feet. So you're saying that your pangolin is 27 feet tall.
27 feet?
That seems quite tall. It does, yeah. I mean, according to the rules, it takes 1 beat to move 2 to 4 meters, and it takes me 3 beats to mount Duchess, so...
So, therefore, Duchess is officially, canonically, 27 feet tall. You know what? Yes, if you take all 3 of your beats to mount... Were you mounted on Duchess before this?
I would say that Ivy was probably riding on top of Duchess, yes.
Okay, well then, yeah, Tord has he's kneeling and he's got one hand ready, and Duchess just kind of like walks over. Describe it.
Why walk when you can ride on your 27-foot tall pangolin? So is Duchess as tall as the roof?
I think you can reach the 3rd floor, and I was envisioning this as a 4-story building. So you can get to the 3rd floor fire escape if you would like, but not this turn. Getting there took up your turn.
There we go. Thank you.
That took up quite a lot of the distance gap now, didn't it?
It did.
Okay.
Ivy says, "Don't worry, guys. I can get up there real easy. Just hold on a moment. Duchess, just shuffle over. No, Duchess, over here. 1 step, a little bit closer, if you don't mind. Okay, we're good. We're right there. Got it. Thanks.
Would you like to attempt to get on the fire escape this turn?
Yes, if I may. I would like to at least latch onto it.
All right. What are you rolling to see if you get onto the fire escape or not? And also, the stakes here are that Tord and Fennis are beneath you.
They are. So I would probably have to roll so that Duchess is not crushing poor Fennis and Tord against this building with her giant pangolin body.
I'm just saying if the metal falls down.
Oh, right. Yes. Then Duchess does have the ability to protect people with her giant body. So I will make a roll to try to leap, I guess, to the...
Okay, so you are using a
ladder?
Skill to get onto the fire escape. So there's a ladder and there's a platform, and you can definitely reach a platform at 27 feet of mount height. So you are using what skill? Examples, agility. You could
say
hop
agility.
over. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay, make your agility and let's see what happens, everybody. Aren't you excited?
I am.
Fennis says
That
from
is
underneath some metal debris.
A 16 on the dice plus 4 for my agility, so a dirty 20.
You hop from your mount to the platform. Describe landing safely.
Oh, it's very graceful. She probably flutters her wings to land daintily onto the platform, and then maybe curtsies a little bit. It's adorable.
Wonderful. Oh, that's great.
I couldn't see it, but that sounded adorable.
It was. Thank you.
What grace, what elegance.
That is the end of the first group of initiatives. So now, from on top of the roof, you hear, "Your collateral wasn't worth anything. Now you have to pay us back the full amount plus interest." Whistles. But, they thunk into the cabbage because Colette has protected the halfling from the arrows.
Is there a man that runs out and yells, "My cabbages"?
Yes.
Excellent. That's all that I wanted.
From across the alley, you hear someone else shout, "Dr. Ravenwood, this isn't personal, you hear? It's just business. Pay up and you'll never see us again." And 3 beats per turn, so we're back to the person who scared the pigeons. They say, and by the way, Ivy can see that the person talking is a brown-haired human woman with fair skin and brown eyes. And she says, "Every day you delay, the interest on your debt grows. You don't want to see what happens when it becomes unmanageable. You're not the first person to try to avoid repayment. You won't be the last, but trust me, we Safiosi always get what's owed." And with that, they, having fired lots of arrows into the cabbages, my cabbages, and with no way to continue to harm the halfling, there's the sound of pigeons fleeing, like coo and flutter, and like they have really loud wings, flap, 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 flap. And in a flurry of pigeons, they run away across the rooftops. I didn't want to take the whole session with an intro combat, but I did want to give you guys an intro combat. And that ends combat.
All right, well done, everyone. Good hustle, as my father would say.
Here,
Colette kind of peeks around from the severely damaged cabbages, helping up the Dr. Halfling. She says, "Why on earth, if they were after her, they attacked all of us? Doesn't seem like a wise idea."
That looked like a general hail of arrows we might have gotten caught up in there. We might have been, as I like to say, wrong place, wrong time, or I guess for Dr. Reginald here, wrong place at right time, however way you see it.
Ivy calls out from the top, "I think it's called Dr. Ravenwood. Also, they're gone."
She's crying, tears are running down her cheeks, her face is scrunched up, and she's clutching her leg, which has 3 arrows sprouting out from beneath the knee. And she's like, "Yes, it's Dr. Ravenwood. Oh my gosh, my leg."
Well, you're a doctor. Do you have a place where we can know? Do you know where a place is that we can patch you up?
I'm not that kind of doctor.
That's unfortunate. That kind of doctor would be very helpful for you at this moment. That might not be helping. I'm sorry.
Speaking of helping, who wants to do some kind of skill roll to see if they can soothe her or something? Tell me your goal and then tell me your roll.
So Colette will soothe her. So because she has so once per conversation. Okay, ignore that. So she will be, if there's another person in this conversation, I might trigger something. So she's just going to do a soothe. So that's going to be a +3. And then you said an additional +2 DM?
Yes.
Because I said Colette saved her. Okay, so Colette. So Colette rolled a 20, natural 20. So critical soothe.
Can I jump in with something? I'm not the best at it, but perhaps I could also simultaneously try to do some sort of medical check in a cooperation, perhaps?
Once she's not screaming, that'll be easier. Let's conclude this natural 20 soothe roll. Bow, 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 natural 20. Woo woo. She trusts you deeply and allows for the medical tending to happen. Fennis, go ahead. What is your medical?
All right. Not good. Fennis has rolled a 2, and his medical is also 2. So Fennis has a 4. Fennis has grabbed maybe the wrong supplies from his components pouch for this particular medical check, which, being completely honest, is not the first time.
She looks at the amputation saw that you've held up and clutches Colette to her. And she says, Please don't let him amputate my leg.
I
Don't
don't
worry, it's
think
for your own health.
I don't think he was about to amputate. Were you? She kind of asked you.
Fennis looks at his hand for a moment. He goes, "Oh, my bad, the saw. Yes, that doesn't apply in this situation." And he puts it back in his pouch. "Where did I leave my medical supplies? Oh, that's right, I didn't bring any."
Is there a safe place, Colette will say, is there a safe place we can take you, Doctor?
Yes, I run a charity called Nicomoy's Helping Hands. It's just 2 blocks away. If you could carry me there, we could lock the door behind us.
I think we can do that. Would one of you wonderful kittens like to assist me in carrying the good doctor here?
I suppose I could give you a hand. Yes, absolutely.
I would certainly try, but I don't think she likes me very much anymore.
Here's a tip. Don't bring out saws. People tend not to like that.
Noted.
So we'll take her back to the building she mentioned, her charity.
Ivy will get off of the platform that she has just stayed on and get onto Duchess's back and not offer to let her ride on Duchess. We'll just let them carry her. But she's like, "You're doing such a great job, guys. I'm so proud."
We can only hope to be as good as you look, Colette says.
Oh, she blushes. I wonder how easy it is to see her on top of this 27-foot piglin, but she will lean to the side and say thank you and wave at you.
And you arrive. There's the sign Nicomoy's, which is the name of the city, Nicomoy's Helping Hands, soup kitchen, free food for everyone, no price. And there's a door. She unlocks the door and you carry her inside of it, and all of you, except for the Mount, can be inside.
Duchess has to stay outside. She's used to this in her life. Ivy does give her quite a lot of snacks to soothe her because she will get bored otherwise.
I wave goodbye to Duchess as we go inside.
Ivy says, "I envy that you can carry sugar around with you. I really wish that I could shrink Duchess and just put her in my pocket with me. That's so convenient."
I carry Shug everywhere. I even designed special pocket for him, yes.
That's so smart.
So does anybody come out to greet us when we carry in this badly wounded doctor?
Oh, the building was locked. She unlocked it, locked. And you guys went inside. Yeah, it wasn't open yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's an interesting note, is that it wasn't open. Yes, it's a soup kitchen that feeds no one. So, what do you guys want to ask her? I'm sure you have questions.
So, where is everyone? This is a charity, right? And charities are supposed to serve people, and there's nobody inside of here. And that really seems like an inefficient charity to me. Are you in debt because you're really inefficient at running charities? I'm just curious, if you could need advice at any point, I would be happy to tell you. I have some little experience with running charities before in Bishop, and my mother is involved with some charities, and it just seems like if you're open, you might have more people involved. I'm going to shut up now.
DM, so I'm going to, before she answers, I'm going to be, Colette is going to be using something called Deep Read. It's kind of long, but the long story short is when she's doing a people reading check, if I get a 15 to 20, you have to draw from a deck of cards. And depending on the suit of the card, I get some, Colette gets some information, and if I roll beyond a 20, you draw 2 cards and I get even more information.
Okay. All right. What's
It's kind of complicated. Sorry?
What's your role?
Good question. So people reading is 4. No, that's her bonus. So it's a 13, so it's not enough. So she doesn't. No, well, she gets a +2 to people reading, so it's a 15.
Okay, hearts.
Hearts. So with hearts, it's emotion. So I guess I get some clue about her emotion.
She seems sad as she says to Ivy, "Yes, it is closed. This is my charity that feeds the hungry. I help run it. The rich people have been donating less after Errol changed it so they get fewer free kickbacks now, so there wasn't any money to feed the people anymore. If I hadn't have taken out a loan, people would have starved. I had no choice. I didn't do it for myself, but that doesn't seem to matter. Now I'm deeply in debt to the Safiosi, and they're going to starve. I have thought of a plan, but no, I couldn't do that. And she seems sad and embarrassed.
Well, perhaps, this is just an initial idea, perhaps if you just explained this to all of them, they would be understanding and let you go debt-free.
Colette shaking her head at Fennis.
But, like, excuse my ignorance, I'm, like, not from around here, but who are the Safiosi?
They're organized crime from Kifasti. I went to them and I put down some collateral and I asked them to give me a loan because I wanted to pay for Nikomoy's helping hands and feed people.
What was, like, your collateral? Was it, like, I don't know, something sparkly? What was it?
My property.
Like the building that we're in, like, right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to lose everything and possibly they're going to kill me and it's really not a great situation. So I came up with a plan and the halfling looks at Colette and her eyes hold, you're still getting emotions from her, I guess, recognition and respect. Brown hair with a white streak. Are you Colette, the famous burglar who stole a chimera from Professor Spark and a slice of cake from Duchess Mary of Tech? You could steal a whisker off of Bast herself.
Colette does a humble brag, and she says, "Oh, I've been known to have done a few things." She says she's looking very prideful.
If it were you, then this plan could work.
Question from Fennis. Fennis being me. How does one steal the whisker off of Bast? Do Basts have whiskers? I'd not heard that before. Actually, answer the first question first. Actually, that's not important. So the debt, where are they based? Simply for confrontation-related reasons.
Kifasti. It's a desert city northwest of Nikomoy.
What was your, like, plan and why does it suddenly seem like it's going to work because you've got Colette involved? I'm assuming it's going to be stealing something, but I don't want to assume. That's rude.
It is stealing something. So I'm still giving you the emotions read. She seems embarrassed. Okay, so I knew they were after me, and so I started thinking of ways I could get enough money to pay the Safiosi back and feed the hungry, and I did think of something. And it has to be fate that I met you, Colette, the great thief, here now of all times, when I've been shot in the leg and can't go for myself. Errol's always on about fate and predetermined futures. Do I get that too? Would it be okay for me to ask you? So my plan is, I was reading the Celebrity Rag, that magazine with pictures of rich people out and about town, right?
I am, like, so familiar with that. Let me tell you.
I've been known to peek at it a time or two, Colette says.
Who doesn't read that? So I couldn't help but admire the red carpet gowns of the rich and famous people who attended the symphony. Everyone does. But their jewelry. You could feed so many people with the amount of money you'd get from selling that jewelry. One of the women's necklaces got its own spotlight blurb. It's called the Mountain of Light, and it's a giant diamond. I was thinking, if I stole the gem and sold it to the White Pawn, that pawn shop that the ads say will buy anything, then I could pay off the Safiosi and pay for all the food to feed all the hungry for like a whole year. The loan sharks would go away, the people wouldn't starve, I wouldn't have to ask my son Errol for help. So I did ask the White Pawn if they'd buy it, and they said yes. We arranged for me to bring it to them tonight at midnight, but then, and then she like winces at her leg, which still has arrows sticking out of it.
Since Ivy is extremely familiar with celebrities, being sort of a celebrity child herself, actually a celebrity child, is she aware of who owns the Mountain of the rest of that sentence that you called it?
The Mountain of Light.
Thank you.
What skill are you rolling?
Ooh. She has a feat called Contacts.
Ooh, read the feat.
Where whenever you might wonder, do I know any smugglers or do you know any law marshal on Station Cell, you may roll a contacts check. Standard checks will be DC 15 to 20. A successful check indicates that you are familiar with at least one person of the description specified. The more exclusive or specific your criteria, the higher the difficulty on your roll.
Okay, so this is you roll knowledge people and then you add to it your skill and then you... Yeah?
It is a specific knowledge that I have. I would roll knowledge contacts.
Okay. Do you think they are your contact? Like you know the celebrity?
Ooh.
Like they were at your birthday party because you're rich and famous?
Probably. Or like at one of my mother's plays or at one of my father's concerts or like at a party or any number of ways that I might have met them.
All right, let's see this roll.
Let's give this a try. That is a nat 20 plus 4.
Ooh. Okay. These words come out of your mouth. Wait, no. I can't do that. Okay. You know.
Did I throw a wrench in your plan?
No. But you know that the necklace, the Mountain of Light, was not in the social circles up until like last week. So you're up on the, you know all the contacts and you know that none of your friends, so you know that you can rule out all singers, actors, comedians, podcasters.
Performance artists.
You can rule out
people.
all performance artists.
Podcast artists.
Got it.
And
Just
you know
like
that,
us.
Yeah, you know that nobody owns this necklace. If somebody owns this necklace, it's going to be someone who's famous for like a weird reason. Like, I'm not talking like people who accomplish Guinness World Records reasons. I'm talking like really successful business owners or like self-made people or like, you know, like how people can be famous for lots of reasons. And this person is not an entertainer. And they are very wealthy to have afforded the Mountain of Light.
So the piece on them in the celebrity rag is not about who owns it. It is just about the necklace?
Yes. And it's sort of like maybe they bought the necklace to be on the celebrity rag.
Oh.
And so just to clarify, DM, so there is going to be a party tonight where a red carpet type party? Or did I misunderstand that?
Yes. The question, where is the diamond? So you ask, where is the diamond in character? And Dr. Laurel Ravenwood says, the LaRue Theater. That's where the upper class go when they dress up to see a play or an opera or a concert. The rich people sit in the boxes on the wall, not in the general seats.
So, like, has Ivy been to the LaRue Theater before?
Absolutely. I mean...
Wonderful.
Who hasn't?
Yes, yes, La Roe, of course. Yes, I've been there many a time, La Roe.
The LaRue Theater.
Yes, that's what I
would very much like that to ring a bell, because I feel incredibly out of the loop, and normally I'm so in the loop and with the kids, but unfortunately on this one I'm gonna have to say I'm a bit lost.
Would Colette know?
Make a roll for knowledge places and you tell me. DC 15.
Oh, so actually, so it's no bonus. 13, so no. You'd think I would know this place. I really need to brush up on my celebrity news.
Ivy, you know that the LaRue Theater is by the river a few blocks east.
It's like not very far from here, so we can honestly get there pretty quickly. But like if there's a party tonight, like everybody who's who is going to be there, and so we can't go looking like this. I'm just saying. Mostly you, but no offense, but like a little, but like not a lot. So we are going to need to change if we're going to go and blend in. Or we could go ninja style. Do you guys have like all black clothes and then we could sneak into the theater when it's dark and like the play's going on? Or, okay.
Colette says, how about we have to do both? You and I obviously are the fashionistas in the party, but our friends here will be doing the other half of what we need. And she kind of looks at everybody very excited. Have any of you been part of a heist?
I can't really say that I have. And honestly, I have to say that I'm a little bit perturbed by how quickly we jumped into doing crime in order to resolve the situation. But Fennis is no party pooper, so I'll do whatever I have to do.
Tord never stole anything really in life, but speaking of stealing, My left pocket feels a little bit light. Colette, you sneaky little bugger. You a very good thief, my friend.
What did she steal?
I'll say I had a couple coins in there. A couple spare coins from the last adventure.
Oh, this was, she pulls something out. This was just me, checking if you have the skills. You might want to work on being against pickpocket. She hands you the coins.
Shug, I cannot believe you let him pick my pockets. You need to do better job of guarding me, my friend.
Shug can literally do no wrong, okay? So I really feel like this is on you, just saying.
No, I always deflect. Yeah, it has to be deflection or otherwise I don't take direct.
So I feel like we have two different choices, right? We can either do the heist, which sounds super cool and way more fun than any other option that we have. Or we could figure out another way to get her the money so that she could get out of debt. Or we could go intimidate those Safiosa people. I don't remember how to say their name. Or we could build you a new charity in a new place.
Oh, or we could come clean and be honest, and everyone will forgive us. My plan from earlier? Still any takers?
Let's call that Plan D.
That's pretty close to A, so I'm satisfied.
She's going to ask Dr. Ravenwood, would the cost of the necklace, would the cost of the Mountain of Light be more than your debt?
Yes, I think that the White Pawn said that they'd give me 2 million for it. 1 million to pay off the Safiosi for having fed the hungry for the past year, and 1 million to feed them for the upcoming year. All I have to do is meet them at midnight at the White Pawn on the corner of Sycamore and Holly.
DM, just in general, what would the Firebreathing Kittens rate be for something like this? Would it be a percentage?
That is entirely up to you. Normally, Nulisag negotiates your job flyers. So
that's true. This one's kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
We would not be opposed to taking 10% of the difference for our assistance to you.
She points to the arrows sticking out of her leg and is like, that would be great. Anything's better than this.
And that'll clear your debt with these people, or and you'll be out of debt and you can continue feeding the hungry.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And I wouldn't have to ask my son for help, Errol. He's a fire-breathing kitten. And I would appreciate it so much. I would happily give you guys 10%. Thank you.
Well, taking 10% is our way of giving back.
From another fire-breathing kitten's mom, that does sound like a little,
Fennis is not really sure how he feels about this. Still waiting for anyone to say, hey, Fennis, I love that plan you had. Actually, let's do that one.
Well, it would be it would be 100,000 we would get, so that's pretty good for 10%.
Also, something occurs to me. Miss, you arranged to meet them tonight. Did you have a plan in mind as it was to steal this? You said you would bring it to them tonight, before you were aware of us.
Yes, I did. I was going to go to the LaRue's Theater, and I was going to somehow exit that place. You can tell I'm really glad that you showed up, because I was going to somehow exit that place with the Mountain of Light. I don't know. I was just going to ask her, honestly. It's a great tax write-off. Maybe
so
she could
a little
be
bit like Fennis's plan. Just ask them if you can just have the necklace. Yeah.
You'd be surprised how often that works if you do it the right way. In fact, our plan might end up like that, but we might need to add a few accoutrements to that plan. Or we might just take the 5-finger discount. She wiggles her 5 fingers on her right hand. We'd steal it, she says.
Oh, yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Well, we definitely at least have to go there and figure out who even has it. That's I feel an important step first. And hopefully it's not anybody that my family knows. But maybe that'd be a good thing. Maybe then I could just ask them for it. Maybe. What time does the theater start?
Let's see. It's 4 o'clock now. So at 5? In an hour?
That's just enough time for us to get all dolled up, and put on the right clothes.
I was thinking maybe find little light snack at theater. I like, small popcorn bag or something like that just to tide me over. A little bit hungry after we didn't eat lunch earlier, so.
Oh, I can... And she looks at her empty soup kitchen.
Oh, that's so sad.
Don't worry, Laurel. We will find this mountain of light, and we will restore the greatness of the soup kitchen.
Thank you, Firebreathing Kittens. Describe what you all are wearing 40 minutes later.
I think Tord wearing pants for what seems to be first time in his entire life. Normally kilt, open air, like to feel the breeze of adventure waft through me, but pants little bit weird, have to be honest, little bit tight. Other than that, I'm probably wearing just nice two-piece, small dress shirt, jacket over top. I do have large top hat where Shug is rummaging around inside of. Kind of like if you've ever seen the hit movie Ratatouille.
For Fennis, he walks out and he sort of does a little twirl to show off. He's wearing the exact same thing. So, did you all notice? I'm wearing my nice glasses.
I don't know that will work. But Ivy does have staff as part of her race for this game. So she has a driver named Thimble. Perhaps he has a spare set of clothing that she may lend to Fennis that will at least look a little more appropriate for the theater.
Something nicer than these? This I have to see.
They'll make your glasses pop.
Well, I would certainly love for them to pop. Carry on with that.
What is Colette wearing?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Colette is wearing and by the way, part of the character sheet is fine clothes specifically. So these versions of fine clothes is a very expensive looking silk red dress with opera gloves and very convincing looking very expensive looking, but not actually expensive looking jewelry, necklace, earrings, and armband. And she has her hair looking even better than usual.
I assume that Ivy always travels with a spare ball gown and heels at all times. It is probably a sapphire color because anything other than green. And it looks wonderful on her. And you're not quite sure how she packed it in her small rucksack, but you don't need to worry about that.
Oh, no, it was somewhere on the mount. I had no concerns.
Oh, that's fair. Yes.
So
Duchess has very large saddlebags that are filled with all of Ivy's closet, basically.
Do penguins have pouches?
Yes, this pangolin has giant pouches. And also Ivy just puts a tiara on top of Duchess's head and says, Duchess is also now ready for the theater.
Mechanically, does Duchess do a lot for your characters, so leaving her outside would be a strong punishment? Because I'm just trying to picture the 27-foot.
It would be an extremely strong punishment for me because she is my entire defense mechanism. But I am fine with sacrificing that.
Well,
I mean,
okay,
what a conversation starter that would be.
I've got a potential solution for you. Height.
Okay.
Height. So,
Yes.
Giraffes are really tall, right?
Yes.
But most of it's neck.
Mm-hmm.
So how much of the pangolin is 27 feet tall versus how much of
I
it
must now look up what a pangolin looks like because I don't actually know. Oh, okay. So it's like an aardvark looking thing.
Okay.
So it can be long but tall.
Oh, so it stood up to get to the...
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right.
Sure. We can go with that.
Yeah. So she's only Duchess is only 5 feet tall. She's just 27 feet long.
Really very long. And she has a long tail so she can sit on the tail like a kangaroo. We've solved this mystery.
All right.
I've
It all makes
also
sense.
progressed my own mystery because this whole time I thought you were saying penguin. So that paints a very different image than the one that I had been picturing up till now.
Oh, it's a
They
pangolin.
do, in fact, it's a pangolin. Yes.
Oh my God.
Pangolin.
I was the exact same problem. Okay.
Great.
I had
That
pangolin.
makes a lot more sense.
I'm imagining this.
You had pangolin?
I'm imagining this
Thank
armored
you.
little armadillo rolling around
Yes,
in my head.
precisely what it is.
I was just imagining like like an emperor penguin standing as tall as a skyscraper.
That's what I had in mind.
I also love that idea, but yes, it is a pangolin that has plates of armor because that's what a pangolin has. Pangolin. Yes. But I do like the idea that I have a giant penguin that can somehow do a defensive curl and like maybe tucks me under its feet like an emperor penguin does with its eggs and hides me under its belly. I enjoy this idea, but unfortunately it is a pangolin.
And the
I'd like to think
pangolin and the party are at the base of the stairs leading up to a 4-story beige brick building with a gray shingle roof. People are walking up these stairs and heading inside the building, and they all look slightly less good than you guys do.
So do
To
we have
be
a plan?
expected. No.
So both out of and in character, I and Colette both have plans. I don't know, but I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. Does anybody else have an idea that they want to put forward?
The only thing I was thinking of is that Shug's probably small enough that if you needed to run reconnaissance, I could probably use him.
Oh, and already in my head, Shug is like a key part of this whole thing. So I say we Ocean's 11 this thing. So that would require 2 people. That would require.
Wait, let me step out. I'm the
Sorry.
GM, so I'll just step out for a second so I don't know because that's important for movies. If you know the plan, it doesn't work. Okay, so I'll be right back.
What's the one with all females in it?
Ocean's. So that's Ocean's 8. And
that one actually involves stealing necklaces.
Yes, it does. And actually, Anne Hathaway's character was a direct inspiration.
Wonderful.
Maybe
I love
we
that.
can cut that.
Is that
Maybe
your
they'll cut that out.
whiteboard? Toward?
Yes,
What's
this
that?
is. I'm holding the whiteboard while all of this is going on. I just want to make sure we have this all written
You're
down.
putting it up there, sure.
Yes. I like the idea that your whiteboard is strong enough to act as a shield in case you need it to.
Of course.
So here's what I was thinking. We do 2 types of reconnaissance. We got Shug on doing the in the building, maybe hovering at the ceiling. And then Colette and Ivy will go in as a couple, a very fashionable couple. We'll be communicating with Tord and trying to spot it who has it. We can go up and chat them up. While we're doing that, Fennis and Tord, you'll be trying to look on how we can cut the power.
Ooh.
I don't know how to cut the power. This is going to be part of our exterior reconnaissance. But once you cut the power, we'll be near the person with the heart of light, or the mountain of light, rather. And then we can get use our sticky fingers
Sounds great.
and try and scooch out of there before the power comes back.
And I'm back. All right, so you guys maybe have a plan, maybe don't. But your GM's back.
Yes.
So let's do things.
We got to execute it.
You're standing at the base of stairs leading up to a 4-story beige brick building with a gray shingle roof.
So, DM, and tell me if this is wrong. Ivy and Colette will be there as a couple, arm in arm, looking really good. I mean, like, it's kind of a magnifier when they're that good next to each other. And I think Tord and Fennis will be elsewhere.
Yes. I think I could probably do a good roll for an ability check. My research is quite good.
Tell me your goal and tell me your role.
I'd like to roll research. Well, I would like to roll research to discover where it is from the building that the power could be cut.
These are candles.
There goes our plan. I'm like in Big Lebowski. If you can't do that, that screws up our plan.
Fennis, how quickly can you run around and blow out every single candle in this place before someone can stop you? How good are your lungs? Just asking.
Well, I'll admit I'm quite agile, but I think my lung capacity would die out at some point in a theater filled with candles.
Okay. So why don't we like find the person that has the Mountain of Light first and like see who it is, and then maybe we can reconvene if we need to like rediscuss our plan for what Tord and Fennis are gonna like do to help us, you know? Maybe.
Ooh, we need
Fennis has an idea.
Yes.
Fennis has an idea. My previous one is still on the table, but I have another one that is not quite as good, but a bit more relevant to the current plan. Perhaps some sort of distraction is in order? When it comes to making a show of myself and causing general chaos, I'm quite good at that. Usually it's unintentional, but I can absolutely do it intentionally.
What if perhaps we... I don't know, this is just spitballing here. Perhaps I have this handy-dandy flamethrower affixed to my back. Maybe I find my way towards the topmost level of building. Small little bit of arson, not just light arson, very light arson. And perhaps as things wind down, you know, maybe an investigator come to see who it is, who started the fire. We need to check to see if anybody has any relevant items on them. Maybe while the investigation is ongoing, the investigator is able to swipe a little bit of, you know, Mountain of Light. Maybe secondary idea for us if all things go, you know, south.
The lights flicker inside using a special candle mechanism of raising and lowering a shade. The show is about to start.
Well, we have to go in.
I think we should like go inside.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, honey, she says, like Colette says, looking very sweet.
Yes. Does the Green family have their own box?
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, honey, let's go to our box now so then we can watch the show. And also look for who has the necklace.
Okay, I got it. So she's like, okay, I got it. Just, you know, keep it quiet.
So you guys step up the stairs and go in the building?
Yes. We will walk there.
Okay. Inside this lobby, a dwarf woman with blonde hair with a streak of blue, wearing quirky clothes, is standing in front of double doors that lead into the auditorium. There's a counter on the right where you can buy tickets, and there's a sort of dusty smell to the air. This isn't the newest place by any means, and it's not the most well-maintained.
The theater?
Yes, you are in the lobby of the theater.
The lobby, okay.
There's a dusty smell in the air. It smells kind of like old building. And on the right, there's a place where you can buy tickets, and there's a dwarf woman with blonde hair with a streak of blue, wearing quirky clothes, standing in front of two double doors.
Ivy will approach the dwarf woman and say, hi,
tickets, please. Show's about to start.
Do you have to have tickets if you have a box? That's like, you know, an outside question.
Oh, goodness, no. Why didn't you go in the box entrance? And she points to another door.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just completely forgot. There's just so many theaters around the world, you know, and they're all different. And so I just forgot that this one, you're just like supposed to go in through the box entrance. So we'll just go through that way.
Colette says, I'm not marrying her. I'm not dating her for her smarts. So it's okay.
I'll just check my list of box holders. Can I see your ID? And your ID says Ivy Green. And she's like, oh, Miss Green, right this way.
Oh my God, thank you.
Are you all together?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yes, I am also with them, and I am very not suspicious.
Wait, you were with us? Fennis is with us?
I was gonna say, I think...
Was I? Am I supposed to be here? Is a good question.
Honey, what are you doing? Come, please, honey, come with me. Come with me. We have to get tickets. What are you doing going in the box? I'm sorry, he doesn't quite know the way the theater works. Hasn't been here before. Come. We have to go over to ticket booth, buy tickets. Whole process.
Of course, yes. Person I'm in a relationship with. Let's us go.
You see Tord's actively sweating. He's like, I don't know where I'm going with this.
At the ticket booth, the tickets clearly say $45.97 each.
I turn back to you. I brought us here. I took the cart and buggy. I will get us popcorn, but I just do not have the change. Would you be able to buy the tickets?
Me?
Yes, Fennis, of course. We come together to the show, a little give and take, relationship. It's all about the double way,
I absolutely would do that. Unfortunately, I am a little bit light on account of not having any money. So that might be a problem slightly.
He always does this. We come out, we always do this, 1 second, let me check. Would Tord, as to the GM, would Tord have gold, I guess, from the last adventure? Would I have 90?
Yeah, you guys just completed an adventure. You got several $100s in cash in your pockets. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know about Tord, actually, after Colette.
Oh.
So now the question is, where did Fennis's money go? In the 5 minutes since the last adventure, where did your hundreds of gold go?
Well, I have to pay the landlord somehow.
We haven't been home.
Fennis, is that why you stopped at the Raven Shack to send Raven back with all of that money? I didn't even know Bird could carry so much.
Well, you see, the thing is also that I recently purchased like a gift basket. Miss Thatcher is having children. Granted, it took a lot of research to find out. Oh yes, Miss Thatcher's the spider that lives in my shed. So, I'm not very good with money.
You know what, Fennis? Don't worry about it. I get this one. I'll pop 90 onto the table.
You receive 2 tickets, and pulleys pull the shade down over the lights, and they stay dark for fully a second, and then slowly begin to rise as the show is starting. Let's split the party, I guess, and follow the people who are on their way to the box.
If we could, before we went in, if I heard they were having money troubles because Fennis somehow doesn't have any money, could Ivy go, oh my god, you guys can just come sit in my box with us, we have plenty of room, and it'd be silly for you not to. Perfect strangers that I've never met before.
2 lovely couples. 2 lovely couples would complement your beautiful box.
It's like a double date. Do you guys want to go on a double date with us?
That sounds very pleasant. Person I've never met before.
There's no one in the lobby. The ticket and the
show's starting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Di is in watching the show, and so is the ticket taker, and so you guys are just alone at this point.
We are committed to this. Don't take this from us, okay? If we do not maintain our cover story at all times, we will bust up somehow.
Okay. I'm on it.
So,
sorry.
I wipe my brow with my box of popcorn. Okay, the show is getting started, guys. Maybe we should figure this out.
Your popcorn is ruined now.
Colette will say, Fennis, do you have binoculars on you as we head to the box?
Yes, I do, canonically, have binoculars.
You do. He does.
You're heading to the box.
We are heading to the box.
The LaRue Theater is an old, not too particularly grand theater. This is no luxurious opera house or grand stage like Ivy is used to seeing in Jishope. Compared to that big city, this multi-purpose theater in Nicomoy is more like a community theater. It smells musty. It has red velvet seats, which are quite itchy to sit in. There is a lot of dust around the place. String instrument music flows through the walls from the auditorium as you're in the lobby, and then once you pass through those doors, it whams you in the face. On the stage, a 4-foot-tall ferryman is playing a vielle, and a 6-foot-tall young human man is playing a lute. The vielle is like a deeper violin, and the lute is like a more higher-pitched guitar with more strings. The harmony between the two sounds lovely. The players will recognize it as Come Sail Away by Styx.
So DM, here's a question. While we're in the box, can we run a perception to see if anybody, or at least one of us, used the binoculars to check out the other people in the boxes to see if any of them's got a necklace with a huge diamond on it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I think Fennis has the highest perception.
There's this cooperation thing where you guys have to roll multiple skill checks to achieve a super cool outcome. So I'm going to say you
I
have to
am into
cooperate
that.
on this.
Absolutely.
Each person has to contribute somehow. Well,
Okay.
at least 2 successes need to happen here.
I assumed that Ivy has told you what the necklace looks like, according to what the celebrity rag described it as. Could that be part of my helping?
Yeah, you don't have to. Yes.
Thanks.
It's a mountain of light.
Does that mean it's shaped like a mountain, or is it just a giant rock? Like, I need more clarification.
I think I think one way maybe I could help would be if you've ever seen like those unopportune applauses during a performance. It's like, oh, they just started and this guy's already up in his feet doing a standing ovation. Is there any way I'd maybe be able to get up and try to cause like a ruckus in the crowd for everybody to start clapping? Because as is, it'd probably be hard to see what's on like a hand. You said I think it was a ring.
It's a necklace.
Oh, it's a necklace.
And I'm going to send a picture of what it looks like in the chat. That is the center stone of the necklace. It would not fit on a ring. Your hand would get tired.
Oh, that is a very big necklace. I think we'll be fine seeing it from anywhere.
Colette is going to be able. Colette's contribution is pointing out the women who are dressed in a certain way to show off the necklace, thereby narrowing down the list of the number of people to check out.
It sounds like they do not want to roll skills to help you, Fennis. So I'm just going to abandon this idea. It's all good.
I will roll whatever skill you would like. Research? I could roll research from having
you don't
read
need to.
the
It's
rag.
fine.
No, okay.
Sorry for proposing this. I think Torn's distraction is a good backup plan for... Okay, Fennis, just perceive.
All right, I shall perceive. But I would like to note that I do have a lot of options for causing a ruckus as well.
Whatever you guys want to do, I'll give you this information first.
But perception. Fennis shall take out his binoculars and lean as far as he can forward to get a good look at the theater goers.
Across the way from you, easily accessible via the box entrance that you've now walked, you know what this hallway is. You see a woman with black hair and olive skin, wearing elegant, form-fitting attire in deep blues and blacks, sitting in the box, impatience on her face, gloved hands crossed across the giant diamond necklace on her chest.
Well, that was easy. I didn't even roll.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were +7. Roll. I'm sorry. I was so excited to share this. Roll. What was your number?
So easy.
Please be a nat 1. Please.
Well, I rolled a 4.
You had a +7. You're going to beat a 10. All right. It's fine. I'm a perfectly capable GM. Continuing. You saw that.
GM, question. Yeah. Is there going to be an interlude?
Yes, in like an hour and a half.
Or intermission, I think, or whatever.
Intermission,
yeah.
Did we all see that?
Fennis, do you point it out to your friends?
I certainly saw it. I say, don't look now, everyone, but I believe that woman over there is wearing a rather large diamond necklace. She may know the person who does have the necklace we're looking for.
So, towards in the middle of taking a sip out of his drink, he's got like a water or whatever with him. Complete spit take all over the crowd. He sees this woman and he goes, "Oh my! Where did she come from?" Oh.
How far away from us is she? She in another box across the way?
Yes.
Okay.
You can see Tord is visibly nervous at this point. He's sweating, fixing his hair, and he had a couple on buttons undone. He's starting to button them up a little bit and put himself together as he sees this woman across the way. He goes, all right, be cool, Tord, be cool. He does like an outfit check. Everything is cool. He wipes the water from his face. I think I might have an idea of who that woman might be.
Ooh, do tell.
I don't know if I'd have to do a check for this, but based on the description given, I would go, I haven't seen her for a few years now, but I believe the woman over there is, her name's Maribel Noble. We've gone on a few adventures together, but I haven't seen her since I lost my brother Aventier quite a few years back.
Oh, well, that's quite a shame.
And the last time I saw her, I must tell you, she would not be attending these types of events. We were working for a meal, so whatever brings her here, whatever brings her to the Mount of Light, I'm sure she's probably had no good dealings getting there.
Well, I feel even less bad about taking it from her.
Did you end on like positive terms with her where you could like go up and be like, hey girl, what's up? Like, I haven't seen you in like so long. And then like, hey, can I have that necklace? Just asking. And then she'd like give it to you? Or is this a like, she's going to slap you when she sees you moment?
Well, to be honest, we got a little bit lost. There were 4 of us together. We got a little bit lost on one of our adventures. And when I came to, my brother was lifeless, and Maribel and our 4th adventure was nowhere to be seen. I haven't seen her since, and I have more than a few questions for her. Speaking of which, DM, I guess the rest of this goes: is there anyone with her?
There's a second chair next to her, as if 2 people could sit in this box. Impatience is on her face. Gloved hands crossed across the giant diamond necklace on her chest. And you can't see this probably from this distance or like with the box, but she's tapping her toes impatiently.
Almost like she's waiting for someone. Suspicious.
She says, so Colette says, we cannot have her see you, Tord. If she sees you, she will think something's up and we will get attention. She's very serious now. Now that she's in heist mode. She says, you wait until we have, how long is the intermissions usually? Like, what, half an hour, give or take?
Yeah, no, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. Wait 5, prepare, you and Fennis should prepare your distraction, your light arson. Very good idea. And as soon as wait 2 to 3 minutes after the intermission begins. That will give me and Ivy time to get to this woman. What was her name again? Maribel. This will give us time to get to Maribel. Once the chaos begins, that will give me and Ivy the chance to take that necklace off her hands and provide us the chaos to get out.
Or
we're not asking
what
her.
if
For the necklace.
No, okay. I'm not saying we should ask her, but like what if Tord is like, hey, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. I have like so many questions about my brother, and is like, hey, could we go speak into this like private area? And then we get her to like a private area, and then we like take the diamond from her. And then Tord gets to ask like his questions about his brother, and then gets that resolution. And then like if she did something bad to him, then we like beat her up. And if she didn't, then we know like what happened, and then we like leave with the diamond.
You look fashionable, but you don't always make fashion. It doesn't seem like you're always making the most fashionable plans, Colette says.
Ivy is so hurt by that. A little
It's
tear
okay.
like slips from her eye.
She pats you on the shoulder. Colette pats you on the shoulder. She's like, it's okay. It'll come with experience.
I'm like always fashionable.
Yeah, but now you need to do it
Anyways.
with plans.
Okay.
Colette will say, oh, those are the 2 plans. What do you 2 think?
I have an idea.
A third plan has
third
appeared.
plan.
So, what if I shot Mr. Tord? Now, hear me out. I do have a number of blanks and a lot of fake blood that I've been carrying around for quite some time, and by God, it's heavy. I'd really like to make use of it and lighten my load.
Maybe that will work as a better plan instead of some light arson.
Perhaps. Does fake blood like go bad after like a while? I feel like it might be like chunky after a certain point.
It's good. I just made it this morning.
Just don't swallow any.
Tord, how do you feel about being like shot?
Yeah, which plan do you like, Torrid?
Well, I've already been shot once today, so I suppose second time, it's just par for the course for today, just another Tuesday.
It sounds good to me. I'm so ready for this.
Do we want to do this during the intermission, when everyone is mingling about in the main hall, in the foyer?
If there's ever time to be shot in a booth at the theater, it is right before intermission, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
That is soundproof, not soundproof, airtight logic.
So you guys want to have it be done right before intermission.
I think usually the act ends in a big bang. I suppose maybe we supply our own.
Pew pew.
And then this will allow us to get like close to her, or like, won't she like run away if there's like a gunshot?
That's why we're going to be in position behind her box. Right before intermission, we will take an early leave. These gentlemen will stay in the booth and stay in our box. We'll get in position behind her box, and when she runs away, they'll bump into us, giving us an opportunity to snatch that necklace, but we'll have to move fast.
Like, okay, like we can give it a try, and then if it doesn't work, we'll just like kidnap her and it'll be fine. And then we can go into my plan.
Plan B.
Wonderful.
Little bit of light arson turns into little bit of light kidnapping. It's all hearsay.
Little bit of light fraud.
Great. Tell me your role and tell me your goal. What skill are you rolling and what was your number result? And I'll tell you what happened.
I don't think they have fake shooting as a skill.
It's not like performance. Could I do like, I guess, a deceive or it doesn't matter. I have 0 across the board, but I'm assuming I'd have to do like a deceive or an entertain.
If I could roll entertain, that would be very advantageous for me.
Entertain is a 2, Fennis. I'm just pointing that out.
Well, we all have kind of low. The only one Colette does have a 7 deceive.
I got a 17 on my deceive.
So that's your role. What is your goal? What are you trying to do?
My goal is to, I don't think I could pop the blood pack and also like 2 hands go over the balcony at once. So here's what I think. I think I give Shug the blood pack, and as I go over the balcony, like head face. Oh, Fennis?
I will say, mechanically, because I did not make this up, this is something that I mechanically have, the blanks themselves have the fake blood in them.
Never mind. So I guess all I have to do is lay on over top of their balcony and pretend that I'm dead. So I'm going to try to time this just after. So I'm going to say I'm not going to do it right away, but I'm going to time this for when Fennis pops a cap in me, literally, that I go down hard over the balcony. If I have to sell it, I will actually go off the balcony if I have to. But yeah, I go kind of up against the balcony, splayed out so everybody in the theater can see me.
Especially the lady across the way?
I'm going to try to go like face down, like stooped over it so you can't see who I am. You just kind of see like the dead body hanging over the edge of the railing, if I can.
Oh, dramatic.
We are in a theater.
Yeah. She sees the body across the way then. Okay, and doesn't see the identity of the person. And that is a success. A 17 succeeds. Everyone in the theater has varied reactions to that. Some people are running out the front door, fleeing from the theater. Some people are rushing to you, security and healers, And Maribel in particular, as a experienced adventurer, her response is to try to exit the box and go into the hallway that connects your boxes all the way around the second story.
And that's where Colette comes in.
Yeah, tell me your role and tell me your goal.
So it's going to be dexterity, and it's going to be bumping into her and pulling the necklace, or if we could just get the gem. It's for the whole necklace or the gem specifically? I guess it doesn't matter.
It's held in by prongs, so if you could get it out, but I don't think human fingers can get prongs off of a diamond.
Probably not. Okay, so it would be to lift it without her noticing, and it would be a dexterity?
Yeah, this is going to be a very high DC. What's your result?
11. So 11 plus 6 is 17.
Unfortunately, a 17 fails to get the necklace off of her head and out of her hair in particular without her noticing. If she didn't have that pesky black hair, the necklace would have gotten tangled in it and yanked her head. You can see her neck tilting at an angle as all of her gets dragged back like a foot by you yoinking this necklace off. You do possess the necklace and she has noticed.
Ivy can step in at this point and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. My wife is just so clumsy sometimes. Here, let me help you. Oh my gosh. And she will distract her and maybe try to manipulate or persuade her to let Ivy help get the necklace out of her hair.
What's your role?
Let's see. We'll go with persuade, maybe. That is a 17.
A 17 is pretty high, but a 20 is what you'd need to get the diamond offer without, that's what Colette encountered. And she is going to, as a skilled rogue and adventurer, pull out some very thin, very sharp blades. We have entered a combat. I didn't see this coming, so we have entered a combat that is planned using the stats of the backup NPC that I have planned. You two, please roll initiative. That means that you roll a d20 and add your initiative bonus to what you roll. I'm going to roll for her.
Ivy has rolled a 19 initiative.
Okay.
Colette has a 11.
Okay. So it's Ivy, then her, then Colette. Okay. And Maribel stabs Colette with her very thin knife. I'm going to roll to attack, and you're going to roll to defend, because this isn't quite the area effect that the arrows were. So I'm rolling a d20, and I'm adding 3. I got a 20. If you can roll to match or... No, you're shaking your head no. What's
12.
your roll?
12.
Okay,
Total.
so this does hit you, and you're going to take 1d4 of damage. That is 2 damage. As she stabs you...
Maribel goes first? I'm so confused.
Well, you took a yoink turn, so we're like in mid.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Did not realize that that was a part of the turn order. Okay.
Oh, well, I figured she wouldn't just stab you. So, like, the combat starts with you yoinking and persuading and failing. So, like, I was... Because, like, right? Like, it's you guys who started it.
Yeah, that's fair. So that was kind of the first turn then?
Yeah, you started it because you yoinked her necklace off, and then you failed to persuade, and then so she's going to stab Colette for 2 points of damage. But after Colette goes, you'll be able to go. And we're going in a circle.
Okay, so it's Colette's turn?
Yeah.
Was she able to... We didn't really talk about this, but was she able to sneak in her sword under her ball gown?
You
Her
tell
fencer's
me.
sword? Yes.
Okay. Where is it?
Down her spine, Wonder Woman style, obviously.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. She'll take out the sword. Okay, so she's going to take out the sword. Can she toss the... can one of her beats be tossing the necklace to Ivy?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm assuming we're in melee since she just stabbed me, or she just stabbed Colette, rather.
You're close enough to have your hands on her necklace and her hair. It came with the necklace.
Okay, so she is going to toss the necklace. So one of her beats is going to be tossing the necklace to Ivy. I don't know if we need a roll for that.
The necklace or the sword? Just to clarify.
No, the necklace. The necklace, yeah. She's not tossing her weapon.
Okay. Ivy, you have the mountain of light.
And then she's going to use no, it said you can use a reaction during other people's turn. Oh, no, sorry. So doing a beat, according to the rules, speaking during combat does require a beat. So she is going to try and she's going to do one beat, I think, or 2 beats to convince an opponent they have no hope of defeating you. So is that 1 or 2 beats, DM? Or do you want me to take a quick look?
1 beat and roll a skill check, and let's see what your result is.
Okay, so she's going to be convincing. So she's going to be doing a persuade. Would it be persuade or manipulate?
Manipulate? You can really argue for either one.
Your ability to push at people's emotional states. Okay, so I'm going to argue for manipulate because that's what she's got higher in. Okay, so she will do the manipulate. So 15.
It's not very high. It's not enough to end the combat from her fear of you because she's an adventurer herself and you are possessing her knife intimately. So this takes us to the guys. You're across the way on the balcony.
Hey,
Round 1 didn't go so well for our heroes. What are you doing, guys?
are we rolling initiative? Is that something we were supposed to have done by now?
No, you're both like really far away, so I just want to know what you're up to because like there's too much distance for you to reach the combat before it gets resolved. So I just want to know like maybe you could fly across the auditorium or something, but like what are you probably, I mean, I imagine you can see across the way with your binoculars and the door hasn't closed yet. So you see all this happen. What do you do?
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apologize to Mr. Tord for shooting him, especially because I'd forgotten to mention that blanks have a bit of force behind them. You do technically take damage, but it is minimum damage. You take 1 point of damage.
Tord gets up with a small headache. Oh, you didn't tell me that the blank would hit so hard. Oh, geez, they're supposed to be blank. You know,
and Tord, you're within shouting distance, but that's about it.
So I guess this is more of an open-ended question to Colette. Colette, do you scream when you get stabbed?
Does Colette specific? Not usually. She wouldn't have. I know it would be helpful to us, but I don't think she would do that.
Okay. So I think then in that instance, Tord's probably looking around first and foremost, and I'll throw this back to the DM to see if anybody's coming to my booth specifically, or if everyone seems to have just tried to beeline it because somebody had a gun in the theater.
Some people are beelining it. Some people are heading to mostly security and healing. And you can see across the way the booth that contained the olive-skinned woman wearing elegant form-fitting attire in deep blues and blacks. That door is open and there's a flurry of activity, some stabbing, some hair getting caught in necklacing. You know, you see the angle of the chin sticking up in the air as her head gets yanked down as the necklace does not come cleanly off. You can see that silhouetted, elegantly against the theater candlelight.
Okay, I think then I'm looking at Fennis and going, oh, Fennis, I hate to say this, but I have a few words for her. If it's okay, before these people show up, I gotta go and have a word with her. Is that all right?
Of course. Makes perfect sense. You'd want to exchange some words with your old, whatever your current status is as far as your direct relationship, but you can sort that out yourself.
We're complicated, but thank you, my friend. And I'll just run as far as I can down the hallway. I imagine...
Just to give you advice, you're not going to be able to make it before that resolves. So if you do choose to run, I'll have you arrive at the end of the combat between Colette and Ivy and Maribel. You could shout across the auditorium, and that would get there right now. Those are your two options. Publicly have this conversation in front of the entire auditorium, or arrive there at the end of the combat. Choices.
I guess my next question is this like a U then? A U shape? And is the only entrance the one that we came in on our side of the top floor? Or do they also have an entrance that goes out into the lobby on their side?
It's a hallway all the way around the exterior of the building, the interior of the building being hollow, and boxes coming off of that hallway. So like the hallway is closer to the exterior wall than the boxes. And each box has a door out onto the hallway.
But the only entrance to that hallway is that one door that we came through, or is there another door?
Like there are stairs up and down connecting the levels at the front of the building and at the two at the back, I guess, near the stage.
The meat of the question I'm asking is that if I am staying where I am now, am I blocking her exit, or is she able to escape otherwise?
You said you were in the box across the auditorium from her, so you are not blocking her exit in any way. You're across the ways. There's a bunch of people in seats down beneath you.
Okay, I think I just run. It's fine that I get there at the end of the combat.
Is that where you intended to be shot, or were you in her box?
No, I'm in my box, like the box we were at across the way. You have it correct, I think. So
okay,
yeah, I think instead of yelling across the way, I'm concerned about having a conversation with Maribel, but I think as a Tord, I'm more concerned about protecting my friends, and I can't do that from this side of the auditorium, so I think I take my full movement, and I get there at the end of combat, and I just kind of see the end of all of this happening.
Okay, you will arrive at the end of combat? Yes, Fennis?
I'm not sure the logistics to this actually applying, but I have an ability, part of my... Now, this might surprise you all, but... If you'll remember, I am a strategist. strategist as one of my classes, and one of his abilities is to use a tactic. And one of the tactics I have involve giving extra movement to somebody.
Yeah, that's like meters, like plus or minus 27 meters. This is all the way around the auditorium. Because there's no... Well, there is an overhead catwalk amongst the lights. If you want to Tarzan your way straight there. Is that what you're suggesting, Fennis?
Potentially.
Toward Fennis points up.
You know what? Okay, so so just to get into the game a little bit more here, so I will use that feat if I can to get additional movement speed, but then I have the Crescent Staccato, which allows me, I don't know what flavor this would be, but I have attached to Shug a tiny spaceship, which allows me to essentially propel himself and one humanoid on a spacewalk. I can roll aerobatics in place of 0G, and I can essentially use him like a kite, I guess.
Please let him just spacewalk across this empty theater air.
I'm absolutely letting the corpse stand up, covered in blood, and fly across, rocket propelled across the auditorium.
I stand up, still bloodied, wipe my brow. I get a pat on the back from Fennis, and then I grab the little tiny legs of Shu and I jump off the balcony using him as a wing glider to glide across to the other
It's
other
just
booth.
like in the song. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
On the stage, the 4-foot-tall ferryman playing the viol and the 6-foot-tall young human man look up and they're like, whoa.
Come sail away.
Sail away.
I think we can all agree that Shug definitely wins this episode.
MVP.
This poor sugar glider has done so much for us.
We definitely did not get the stealth thing that Colette was pushing for. That's blown. No. That's gone.
The whole audience watches as you land toward in the box behind Maribel. We're at the top of the round. Ivy, we're back to you.
Wonderful.
Tord arrives.
Hi, Tord.
What? You have Maribel's hair in your hand and also the diamond. What is going on here? This is an absolute mess.
DM, I'm going to use one of Colette's reactions to speak and tell Ivy, get out of here. Get out. She's going to basically screaming it at her.
Ivy will do as Colette says. She will mount Duchess, which I actually have horse's saddles, so I can mount and dismount using only a single beat. And will ride off into the sunset together.
Is your mount in the auditorium or in the foyer? Or you have to get out of it?
We talked about that. She's very long.
Yep.
She's not very tall.
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay.
Duchess is wearing a tiara. She came with me. So
Duchess, yeah.
she was ready for this. And Duchess and I will ride off as quickly as we can.
Noted. Next up in the round is Maribel, who whips around and sees Tord. Maribel's going to delay her turn. Colette, what do you do?
She will attack. So it's going to be, because she's using a sword, it's going to be +1. So that's going to be a 3. And, okay. 15 total. No, sorry. 16, because the extra 1 for using a sword.
I got a 10. How much damage do you do?
2d8. So that is 6.
6 damage. Tord, you watch Maribel turn around to face you and then get cut down and drop to the floor with a splurt of blood from the giant slash across her back from Colette's sword.
Maribel, does anybody have a bandage? Anybody? I think I start tearing off a piece of my clothes, try to tourniquet. I guess, was she stabbed once or twice? Just once in the back?
She's only taken 1 strike.
1 hit? So no tourniquet then. Yeah, I guess I hold on to Maribel as she starts to bleed out a little bit, and I look onto her and I go, I don't know why you are here. I don't know where you found this diamond, but what have you gotten yourself into?
Please roll a medical check and tell me your result. And that'll determine what she says.
It's a 9 medical. No additional medical, just a 9.
That's a below 10. She doesn't say much because she's unconscious. Oh, she does say as she falls unconscious, Gorb.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got absolutely your final words, Maribel. Gorb, seriously. Give me something here. Come on. I drop her body.
Wow. Okay, she's definitely unconscious. The way this works is when you hit 0 hit points, you don't die. You die at -10. So back to, cutting the camera back to Ivy. Let's zoom out for a second. Ivy, you reach the exterior wall, and you are about to exit the door with the mountain of light. And you see the ground very far below you. And let's zoom out for a second. Across the street from the theater, a dwarf man wearing sunglasses and a leather jacket leans against the building, taking a drag on his cigarette. He turns around and sees that the LaRue Theater, the whole building, is gone. He tilts his head up and spies the beige brick building with its gray roof and a silver craft above the roof. All of that in the air up there, flying away. He shrugs, flicks his cigarette, then swaggers into the closest bar. Without removing the sunglasses, he sits at the counter and orders a beer. He turns and grins at the lady down the counter. "How you doin'?" he asks. So that's where Gorb is at this moment, but let's zoom back in to you all. Ivy, you open the door to the outside and discover that the entire LaRue Theater building is up in the sky. The ground is rapidly falling away beneath you, far, far away. As you rise higher, ice crystals now shimmer, curved like a bubble, obscuring the view between you and the ground below. And that's where we're going to go to break. Joining us for part 1 were Fennis.
Yes, that's me. What is happening?
Tord.
Covered in blood and looking for love toward Unfred.
Ivy.
Riding a giant pangolin and hopefully not falling out of a theater in the sky. I'm Ivy Green.
And Colette.
Colette is not having her best heist.
And leave us a review on iTunes and we'll read it on air at this point in the show. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Today's mid-episode shout-out is, quote, "Gratitude to my therapist, Javi, for helping me navigate life's challenges and find inner peace. Your empathy is a gift." End quote. Thank you for supporting our podcast by buying a shout-out. Everyone, you can arrange for us to read your shout-out at firebreathingkittenspodcast.com. We also sell books and audiobooks based on our adventures on Amazon and Audible. And you can support us simply by telling someone about Fire Breathing Kittens, maybe suggesting an episode that would make them smile. Thank you. Welcome back to Fire Breathing Kittens, an actual play podcast. We are joined by Colette.
Hello.
Fennis.
That is me. I'm very confused.
Ivy.
Hi, everybody.
And Tord.
Is that the ground shaking or just my feet?
Everyone, please roll a d20. And the person who gets the closest to the number that I have selected here, I feel like the only fair way to do this is to write down a number. Oh, I know. Okay. I'm going to type a number. There we go. And now I'm going to turn that number white with my font. Okay. And now I'm going to share my screen. And now you guys all tell me your number, and then I'll turn the number black.
7.
17.
8.
10.
And the number was...
Whoa.
Right on the money.
Say it for the listeners.
17, right on the money.
Please tell us what happened last time.
Last time we were contacted by a Dr. Ravenwood, Dr. Laurel Ravenwood, to, I shouldn't say contacted, more like we got shot at with her. And after a quick move from, I believe it was Colette, to make sure she did not get any more arrows, we We introduced ourselves and realized she ran a local food kitchen here in town. After figuring out that she had run down on her luck and owed some money to the Safiosi family, we decided that it was in our best interest to help the Dr. Ravenwood. Only way that we could help her was by receiving the Mountain of Light diamond, which some kind of affluent individual seemed to have acquired in recent times. They were going down to La Rue Theatre that night to take part in one of these shows, or take in one of the shows, I should say. We headed that way, and upon sneaking in and finding our booth, well, let's just say things went south fairly quickly after trying some stealth and not getting necessarily the best luck of the night. Nevertheless, we find ourselves with the Mountain of Light in Ivy's firm grasp, and we are currently in possession of an unconscious Maribel. The building seems to have lifted up off of the ground, and we are now floating seemingly through space.
I was totally supposed to say when you guys were in that box, it's like written here and everything. Lurch. There is a lurch like the jolt of an earthquake, but it's over in a second. All of you in the theater box stumble. That would have been like useful as a clue, right? Anyway, continue.
That is pretty much where we find ourselves now. I am holding the barely breathing body of Maribel, who I'm going to firmly strap to my back so I can carry her with me if I could. See if I can find some aid. It's clear that my companions are not able to offer any assistance for her, and having been bested by the sword and being unconscious, perhaps somebody will be able to assist in the near future. So that is what Tord finds himself doing in these sparing moments.
Well, Fennis, I don't think, has seen any sort of sign that we are in the air right now. So I think right now he would be...
Oh, wait, this is an excellent time for...
Trying to...
Lurch. There is a lurch, like a jolt of an earthquake, but it's over in a second. All of you in the theater box stumble.
Man, I can't believe that happened. But Fennis is trying to catch up because the last thing he saw was Tord and his sugar glider going to catch up with the combat, so he thought he might as well try to catch up as well. He's currently still in the middle of that sprint, I would imagine, and having a rough time of it because he's not a physical man.
You're sprinting in the hallway? He nodded.
I did.
Okay.
Ivy has the Mountain of Light in her hand. She is riding on top of Duchess, her giant pangolin. Pangolin. I should enunciate that a little bit better. Not a penguin, a pangolin. And has opened the door to exit the theater and has discovered that they are now in the air. And while she is a fairy, she cannot actually fly that well. So she's going to shut that door in a very classic movie scene where you open it and go, and then just shut it again. And then turn around. And I guess she will head back to where... I think she will try maybe going downstairs, where she might encounter some familiar faces.
And Colette.
Well, Colette does not look happy that she stabbed someone nearly to death, but she does see. Does she see Ivy, or no? Ivy open the door and then close it?
No, she ran away.
Oh, okay.
But you do see the pangolin running towards you as she returns.
Well, okay, so her initial reaction she was going to help Tord patch up or secure his friend, but then she sees the giant pangolin coming towards her. She says, "I told you to go the other way."
Yeah, so I tried that, but unfortunately, the whole theater is in space now, so I can't get outside unless I want to fall really far, and I kind of don't, so sorry.
Fennis, you arrive.
Hello, everyone. What did I miss?
Well, the theater is floating now, and also Colette stabbed Maribel, and so she's unconscious, but she said somebody's name before. I didn't hear that. I wasn't there. But also I have the diamond now, so yeah, That's what
So-
you missed on this episode of Firebreathing Kittens.
Hey. So, just out of curiosity, I wasn't here for a bit, so I might not have heard the part of the plan where we launched the theater into space.
I never knew that was a thing that could have even happened.
I don't think that was anything that we did, unless you did that. Did you do that?
Did you do that?
I would love to have done that, but unfortunately, I am just as juxtaposed as you all are. That is the incorrect usage of that word. However, I feel as if it applies here somehow.
Tord, did you do this?
I'm a little busy here. I don't know my knots very well, so I've been trying to tie her for a little while. If anybody knows, crisscross applesauce.
I've tied a lot of ties for my dad before, so I could give it a try. She does a perfect Windsor knot. I don't know if that'll hold.
So elegant, so graceful.
I could also help. Fennis pulls out a saw.
No, I
Same
told you.
bone saws earlier.
No saws are necessary right now.
Put that thing away, man.
Fennis just sort of dejectedly puts his saw back.
Someday we'll find you a use for that saw. I promise. So, we should probably find a way to get the theater back on the ground
I think
before
our
it
first.
takes us to wherever we're going.
Well, how did it get off the ground?
I don't know. I assume Ivy wasn't able to see anything when she opened the door, other than the fact that we are now in space. Not in space, in the sky.
You could see the ice crystals shimmering, curved like a bubble. So you know that there's a bubble around you.
We are in a bubble.
So, I would like to try something. Or rather, Fennis would like to. So, could I do some sort of perception check to see if I can spot exactly what may have been the cause of this sudden anomaly? Because I do have an ability that gives me a pretty good bonus on noticing things that are nonsensical or out of place.
You can attempt that from a different location.
I may have to go to a different location that I am not canonically aware of.
Perhaps we would be able to see on the roof, whatever is making us fly. Or maybe it's in the basement and there's a rocket in the basement. Or maybe there's a captain's quarters and this is secretly a ship that none of us knew about. Or maybe... And she just starts trailing off as Ivy starts exploring to try to find these places that she has listed.
Is Maribel unconscious at this point?
Yes.
Is this a situation where she is rolling death saves or
No.
Okay.
In
so
this
she is
system,
holding.
if they hit -10, they die. So if you hit her again, she has no way of preventing you from doing that, and she would die. Colette, I'm looking at you.
She's not going to hit her.
I am also looking at you, Colette. Very, very looking at you.
She point. It's I know you can't see it because it's nice and red, but she points to her side. She did stab me.
Did Colette pull the knife out of her, or are you just leaving it in there?
I thought it was just a stab, and she pulled it out. I don't think it was the knife was in her.
Oh,
DM?
yeah. It's way more cool to say the knife. You have that choice. The knife was in you. Did you leave it?
No, she doesn't have the knife in her.
Is that the one you got her back with? Because that's kind of fun.
Yeah, you pulled it out of yourself and then stabbed her back with it. You're
No, she
blood
used
sisters now.
Colette used a sword
Hey.
that she hid in her dress.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So there's just a bloody knife on the ground, is what I'm hearing.
You know the old adage, a knife for a sword. That's it, right?
Don't bring a knife to a sword fight.
Have
Very
the
well.
security people noticed that we are not in our booth and are now trying to find the shooter?
Or that we're in space.
Let me roll
Also-
for the security people.
Thank you. Yes, also, is the general public panicking that we are now in space?
The general public was panicking because someone got shot. So they reach the doors and they see that they are not able to leave because of the bubble. And this does cause a mild commotion.
Yes, a mild commotion. These are people who paid $49 to watch a very famous man on stage. And so they would not, undignify themselves. That's not a word. By having a full-on commotion.
Exactly.
I feel like someone getting shot and then the entire building in space might be an exception.
Perhaps.
You're surprised how calm they are, Colette.
Is Tord still covered in fake blood?
It's a mixture right now, a little bit of both. None of it mine, just to be clear.
Okay, great.
The security people have started talking to one another in your old box. And if anyone's looking in that direction, they are having a meeting.
Maybe it's best we move to somewhere a little bit more hidden.
We could go backstage.
Hey.
If we go downstairs and we go backstage, I assume everybody is by the front doors. So there might not be anybody back there.
Okay, so DM, I got Smuggler's Eye. So gain a +5 bonus on all perception checks when looking for secret passages or compartments, traps, spy holes, or other illicit paraphernalia. Is there one of those things that she could look for?
Yes. And I want you guys to use the aid mechanic, please.
Okay, somebody want to aid me. Or aid Colette. And I don't remember what page that's on. But okay, so let me roll. So that would be perception. So it's going to be +11. Then plus anybody aiding?
Yes, Fennis will help. He will take out his binoculars and start looking all around once more and just pointing out anything that even looks remotely like a secret entrance.
And with her knowledge of the theater directing you to the right hallway, and with you guys looking for like the secret entrance for the star in particular, or like, one of those like more out of the way places to go, you do find, specially designed to keep it out of the sight of, for example, paparazzi and journalists, around a left corner, behind a bathroom, you find a door that is not well marked at all.
This door isn't well marked at all.
Let's go in.
Let's.
You go in the door, and behind the door, there's an adult ferryman, 4 feet tall, 55 pounds, sandy brown hair, pale skin, blue eyes, and an adult human man, 5'11", 180 pounds, black hair, pale skin, green eyes.
Does Ivy recognize these two men?
Yes.
Ivy will run in and go, "Father, Reed, I didn't even realize it was you playing here, but I guess I should have, because that was definitely your music. I just was so distracted by other things. Hi."
Oh, my daughter. He looks surprised not only to see you, but also that you exist. Like he had not thought about you recently.
That tracks. She does hug Reed and is very excited to see him, and also trying to hide the fact that there is now an unconscious body somewhere behind them, tied to someone's back with a perfect Windsor knot.
This is a sweet scene.
Before he can notice the body, Reed says, I'm surprised to see you here, Ivy. Thank you for coming. By any chance, did you bring Fern with you?
Oh, I didn't. I haven't seen her for many months, unfortunately. So, I'm sorry. Also, I'm sorry that your concert got, totally ruined. Father, how have you been?
While this is happening, Colette is gonna quickly try and scooch the body and Tord and Fennis away from them so they don't notice them. I don't know if that's even possible.
No, yeah, totally possible. There's a bunch of clothes in here from a bunch of performances. This is the Stars changing room. There's makeup, there's costumes, there's racks and racks of options. Boas. You've never seen so many feather boas.
Better than hiding the dead.
As Colette does this, it just catches him right as he was about to walk forward with his hand out and introduce himself to his friend's father.
And she is quietly like shoving Fennis and like directing him where to go without saying anything and, hushing to keep him quiet. So do we need a stealth or anything?
No.
Okay, cool.
Ivy has sufficiently distracted them. Does her father say anything to her in response to, "Father, how have you been?"
Oh, I've been practicing my music. I can't. There's an accent, but whatever.
He does not have to have an accent. He can have no
But
accent.
he does,
just for
canonically.
you.
He seems distracted and distant and not at all aware that you're in space, and instead he's talking to you about the show. And he's like, "Doesn't the song I was playing just make you feel like you are transported to another world?"
I mean, like, literally. It does. Above the table, I'm so sorry that I wrote he has a slightly dramatic accent. I didn't even remember
It's
that.
fine.
I apologize to
A
you.
high society one.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Look, I'm learning.
I appreciate that. This is a new talent for you.
Okay. So, Tord, what are you up to?
I think Tord just hiding nearby with Buddy.
Okay. And she's stable. She's breathing in and out. She's just not awake.
Ivy will say, "So, like, do you know anything about this theater going into space right now? Is that like a part of your show? Is that like a new thing you've added? I don't know if I know that you put a lot of effort into your art, and I didn't know if this was a part of it."
Your father, Forrest, looks very confused. And Reed goes, "Into space? I mean, I always hope to see my name, Reed Darling, in big lights, like amongst the stars."
Well, like, it's getting there, because, like, when I just opened a door, we were, in the sky. So it's pretty close.
Oh, the two musicians do not know what to make of this.
Okay. Well, like, we're going to try and figure out what's going on. Okay. So, like, this is Colette. This is my friend. My friend.
Colette's gonna be doing this.
There's nobody else in here. It's just us three. So at some point I'm going to leave, or maybe you should leave actually, or turn around, or maybe you could give me a tour.
Reed looks excited. "Yeah, this is my first star backstage area. I've always not been the star before. Look, over here we have boas."
Ivy will go to look at boas with Reed and I guess her father.
"I always knew you could. Mind the pianissimo and the bucket crescendo in bar 47.
Perfect. I know exactly what that means. Father, show me your instruments.
And he shows you the viol, and everyone has time to escape if they want. You can do whatever you want. Just tell me what
Where
you're
else
trying.
is there to escape to in here? Or is it just a one door?
It's just a small dressing room packed with many clothes and boas.
Okay.
At some point, without anyone noticing, Fennis now is wearing a feathered boa.
What color is this feather boa?
Bright pink.
Gorgeous. That's definitely your color.
Oh, yes. Sorry, it's just, I've never touched one of these before. They're so soft.
Colette's gonna just looks like she's about to rip the boa off, but then just gives up and then then turns to Tord and whispers, do you know a room in a theater that might have some sort of medical supplies for your friend and me, because I did get stabbed also."
I don't know where any medical supplies necessarily are, but I do know one thing. When we were entering here, we came up staircase to 4-story building. We haven't gone up any stairs here, which leaves us, from what I can tell, still on the first floor, meaning there's 3 floors above us.
Mild correction. The boxes were on the 2nd story and the 3rd story.
So
The 4th story was lighting. I should have described that as the genome. Yeah. Sorry, it's like every theater you've ever been to. There's rows of red chairs facing a stage, and there's boxes on the walls starting from the 2nd story and the 3rd story. And then on top is ropes and lights and stuff. And I had actually a description that I didn't read. It's amazing how when I don't read stuff, things don't make sense. Yeah, here's the... It has red velvet seats. Did I read this part about the red velvet seats? That are quite itchy to sit in. There's a lot of dust around the place. String instrument music
Quite
flows.
musty in here.
Yeah, flows through the walls. Yeah. Anyway, so you guys are on whatever floor you want to be on now because you're backstage. Probably the ground level. And there's
Probably ground.
second and third with boxes. And then there's fourth with like lights. And there's a light box. And there was a chandelier, but it hasn't been replaced yet.
Well, how are their lights if they have their candles? How do they have like stage lights?
Clever ropes and pulleys.
Okay, fair enough.
Mirrors.
Yeah, you can use mirrors and
enough.
like magnifiers to cast light onto stage and stuff. That's how they
Okay.
used to do it in the old days.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they just did it outside.
That's why it's illegal to shout fire, because they often caught on fire.
Yeah,
They
I'd
did.
imagine. Yeah.
Especially
very
with the
dangerous.
cellulose of the first films. Oh, history is fun. Yeah, cellulose is super flammable. So they caught on fire a lot, and it was on the tip of people's tongue to be like, oh, and like on their minds to be like, do I need to get out of here? Anyway, so that's where you guys are. You haven't been to the roof or anything like that. No. There's second floor, third floor. You go where you want. You tell me what you do.
But there's no basement. So my assumption is maybe the roof is the last place that we haven't actually seen.
And let's go to the roof.
Suppose if we
Colette,
have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, Colette says, that's a good point. Let's go to the roof. There might be, we could at least see what's going on outside.
They go to the roof.
So Ivy will distract her father and Reed until she notices that the other three have escaped and obviously thought of the idea to go to the roof without her input because I wasn't there to talk to you. And I guess she'll make her excuses of, oh my God, well, that was like such a good concert, even though it was only half of it. And I'm really sorry it got interrupted, but maybe I should go investigate since I am, a fire-breathing kitten adventurer and equipped to go investigate something like this. I will go find out why we are headed to space.
Your dad looks honestly surprised that you're a fire-breathing kitten. It's like it's the first time he's heard that.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go investigate father. And Reed, you should stay here with father and make sure that he's like okay, and like I'll come back. And then she's just gonna leave.
All right.
She's wiping like a little tear away from her eye again. She's cried many times this episode now. And by many times, I mean twice. And will walk away from her father, who doesn't know she's a fire-breathing kitten.
Well, didn't know. Now he knows.
Yeah, now he knows.
Now he does know. Whether or not he knows what a fire-breathing kitten is to be determined.
All right. I feel bad, but
It's how I wrote it, okay? It's fine.
I know. Okay. And
Perhaps-
if they climb up to the roof. So you guys do. You follow those stairwells. Ivy's very familiar with these because, Box. Her dad is a performer and you guys have... Yep. Anyway, so you make it to the roof. You step out onto the gray shingles. In contact with the highest point of the roof is a silver sphere. It's a bit wider than it is tall, but it's a sphere. Vaguely. Maybe 30 feet in diameter. It's rounded like a ship's hull, but in all directions.
And it is attached to the roof somehow?
It is
Like a weather
floating
vane?
1 foot above the highest point on the roof.
Oh.
Can I climb up and touch it?
Tell me your goal and tell me your role. Can you? Let's find out.
I think from towards past, he's had some dealings with the Fae and with trickery. I think part of him wonders if this maybe is just all an illusion. Maybe, I put my hand on the ship, I go right through, teleported, who knows. So I think I just go up and lay my hand onto it, and I guess I'll see if I can roll we'll say like a research, I guess. See if I can research into this thing, see if I can figure out anything about it.
Okay.
Only a 10 plus 2, it's a 12.
That's better than 10, so I'll give you some. It's smooth and it's not cold. it's the same temperature as your skin. It has the smell of nothing. Like copper has a smell, steel doesn't. It has no smell. And it is making no sounds from it. And do you lick it?
If honestly, if that's all I am getting from it, probably yes. I mean, if that's, yeah, sure.
Like a spoon.
You guys, there is floating spoon up here in air made of metal. It's warm and it doesn't smell bad at all.
Can Fennis try doing a research check as well?
Instead, I'll tell you, welcome to the puzzle of the adventure. This is a puzzle.
Uh-oh.
I put in a combat, I put in a skill check, I put in a random bit of plot. This is the puzzle part. Does that help? They're not.
Oh my god, guys, I think it's a puzzle.
The floating spoon puzzle? Never heard of something like this in my entire life. I've already licked it. What more is there to do?
Are we still floating upwards or have we stopped?
Good
You
question.
are still floating upwards. And the more time passes, the further the planet of draws looks away from you.
Well, we better solve this puzzle fast because, like, we're in freaking space, guys.
Could I roll to persuade the sphere to stop lifting us up further into the air?
Tell me your roll. I'll tell you what happens.
Okay. Fennis, it occurs to him that maybe this sphere is some sort of sentient being, as he's honestly starting to make a habit of, well, if it's possible to succeed, he's going to do it because he just rolled a 19 and his persuade is 8. So he has a 27 for persuade the sphere.
Tell me what you say to this smooth metal object.
Hello? I don't know if you can hear me. Perhaps there's a being inside of here, or maybe you are the sphere. If you are the sphere, that's all right. You know, all body types are attractive. I was just asking because I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but you are lifting our building very far from Earth. And see, if you are from Earth, you'd know that most creatures from Earth die quickly when they're not on it. So it would be very helpful to me, and you don't really have to do this, but I would owe you greatly. We would all owe you if you could maybe lower us back down just so we can get off and you can go on your merry way wherever you wish to fly to.
As you talk, the metal ripples in response to the sound waves.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means.
And as you talk, the metal ripples. And when you stop talking, it's not rippling.
I don't think it's understanding you,
I turn back
Have
to
you-
but
that.
it is affected by sound.
Try talking to it and then touch it.
Okay. Fennis reaches out his hand maybe to try to touch the ripples while he speaks, and he's just saying everything that I'm saying right now. This is not out of character. Hello, I am Fennis.
You've never felt a ripple as stronger than steel of some mystery metal before. It looks like it's moving, but it's like the opposite of butter. You can't push on it and bend it. It's like metal, and it is vibrating when you talk.
I don't know what this thing is, but maybe if I push hard enough, and maybe I could separate, and I'm gonna try to get in between the roof. But as I'm doing that, that's not actually what I'm trying to do here. I turn to Ivy and I go, Ivy, what was that song that your dad was singing? Come sail away. And I'm gonna start singing the song as I'm trying to push the spaceship up off of the roof.
Yeah, it's like a really popular song that he wrote like maybe 35, 45 years ago, however long ago that was. Because I definitely remember when it was written, and like it goes something like this, and she starts singing and it's very bad.
Does anyone want to sing? Like all of my players, this is your chance.
I can roll and entertain for Colette to sing.
All of my performers that I have on this podcast with me, does anyone want to sing a little bit? Not enough for us to get copyright struck. Just a little bit. Just hum.
Sorry.
I think I'll give it a try.
Go toward, you got this.
I'm pushing up on it and I go, A gathering of angels appeared above my head. They sang to me this song of hope. And this is what they said. They said, come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me, lads.
The music causes a ripple on the surface of the sphere. The outline of a door forms on the shuttle. And with a mild hiss, the seal breaks between the door and the rest of the shuttle. It opens and stairs come down to the roof.
Oh my God, I solved the puzzle.
Wow, Tord, it was like my dad was like up here with us. That was like so perfect. It sounded very close to him.
Oh, we really need to find a medic, Ivy. I think I popped my lower back. Oh.
And the woman that popped your lower back is also dying.
Yeah, did you lay on your back where Mirabelle is strapped to you?
Don't listen to her.
Trying to push the spaceship the entire time while singing. Too much pressure.
Were you under pressure?
Was that your father's other
Thanks.
song?
It was another hit by my father for screen. Thank you. Oh my God. So like, let's go inside this spaceship. This can only go well for us.
Well,
Sounds
we
good to
don't have
me.
any other choice.
Fennis has zero hesitation to walk right into this mysterious sphere. Avenger awaits!
Fennis! This room is all shiny metal and all curved. Despite the lack of windows, illusion screens display as if they were windows. Instrument panels flash colored lights and have many buttons. There are 3 beings in here. You wouldn't call them people. In our world, one way to describe them would be like segways with tablets where the head would be. They have thin arms and legs and stick-like fingers. They're about 6 feet tall, and each of the 3 displays a screen with the same gray-haired face, pale skin, yellow eyes.
Hello, I'm Fennis Lightwall.
The metal frame people continue tapping at the instrument panel, paying you no mind. Without turning to face you, all 3 speak as one. You do not meet the standard. There is nothing here for you. Begone.
Well, that's a little hurtful and a little rude to say to a house guest. Though I may have intruded without asking for permission first, which is my bad, but still.
Colette says, we just want to go back down to our planet.
They continue tapping at the instrument panel, paying you no mind. Without turning to face you, all 3 speak as one. You do not meet the standard. There is nothing here for you. Begone.
Tor, do you want to do an encore? Colette says.
So my dad like wrote another song about going home. Maybe you could like try that instead. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Does it involve country roads?
It does. Something about a place called West Virginia. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
Sounds like a beautiful place to me.
Yeah, so like maybe if we sing that, they'll be like inspired to take us home instead of space.
Just to be clear here, when you say instruments, because I think when you say instruments, I'm thinking everybody thinks, guitar. I'm thinking sci-fi instruments, like ship instruments. What are we looking at here?
Oh, instrument panel. Like a keyboard, but like repeated. So like bigger than a keyboard, like a bunch of keyboards side by side.
When you say keyboard, do you mean like a computer keyboard or like
like a computer
a
keyboard?
Synthesizer keyboard?
A bunch of buttons, so many buttons, more buttons than you've ever seen. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory level of buttons. So many buttons.
Okay.
And lights. And like a round bead around a pole that like when you move it up and down a little bit, it makes a little humming sound. What does that do?
I think I go, yes, Ivy, Nicomoy roads, take me home. And I just start going, I tap any button. Like I try to get it as quick as possible and I start hitting all the buttons. Just bring me down.
Oh no. I didn't mean to like tell you to push any buttons. I was just telling you to like sing the song and then maybe they would take us home. But now you've pushed buttons, so I guess we'll find out what happens.
One of the segues with a tablet as its head, and the yellow-eyed, pale-skinned, gray-haired face in the tablet comes over to you and says, Stop pressing buttons. I will release the tractor sphere once I have transferred my musicians. I have no use for you. All others can remain here in the vacuum.
I would like to say real quick, we can't survive in a vacuum. So, you think you could drop us off first?
You're not worth my time. You couldn't begin to comprehend my plans. I do not have any use for you. The two musicians, and this is all three, by the way, speaking at once. The two musicians performing in this theater. However, well, I could do something with these best of the worst.
Ivy is very offended. Excuse me. First off, they're the best of the best. Thank you. I mean, Reed, can still use a little bit of work, but, my father is one of the greatest on this entire planet and probably the entire universe, which I didn't realize that there were other planets outside of this universe until just now. But, also, that's very rude. And also, could you not kidnap my father and my best friend? I would, really appreciate that. So I'm going to need you to not do that. Thanks.
She said, what she said, but also, what if we were good musicians?
You're not.
You haven't heard us try.
Well, that was very matter of fact.
Ivy has begun to sweat.
I think your ship thinks that I meet the qualifications, so I don't see why you shouldn't. I mean, the door opened for me, maybe Tord is king of rock and roll.
In unison, the three tablets on segways all turn to you and say, you are making us take too much time to get this haul to the mothership. Leave the shuttle or we will make you leave.
Ooh, tough crowd.
Also, I let it slide before, but the comprehension part stung a little bit. My comprehension level is fairly high. But also, you are doing a bad thing. This is a bad thing that you're doing. Probably. I'm still catching up a little bit. Has anyone told him to stop yet? I wasn't quite sure, because
We did.
I'm also a part of that demand.
I don't think they're considering it very well.
The three segways unite on the floor, like three Daleks, all marching in unison towards you, and they advance. They are coming towards you. We are going to use the same initiative as before, which I think was Ivy, and then Colette, and then... Hey, can you two roll off?
Tord and Fennis, they didn't roll.
I can roll initiative.
I got a 16 after my modifier.
I rolled a nat 20, so that's a 27 for initiative.
Yeah, you go before Tord. And then these are going to go last, just to let you all know. All right, Ivy, they're advancing towards you.
Oh, great. Ivy is going to draw her fencer's blade. And as she draws it, she said, "This is from my father, the musician that you're trying to kidnap. So it's very fitting that I'm going to attack you with this." And then she's going to try to strike at them if they are in range for her to do that.
What's the range of your...
The range of a fencer blade.
Okay, well, it's a 30-foot diameter craft, and I imagine that they're advancing towards you, which means they're at least halfway across this craft, if not more. So, do you guys remember the combat mechanics of this game for moving and attacking? I realized that I should have...
So movement is a beat, and attacking is 2 beats. So you can move and attack in the same turn if that's all you do.
As long as when you're moving, it's 2 to 4 meters per beat.
Yeah, per beat. If 2 to 4 meters for that movement.
You can absolutely move and attack them, Ivy, and that will be your turn.
Awesome. I will do that then. Do I roll to hit?
Yes. And they're going to roll a defense roll. I've got a number that I'm going to add to the d20 that I roll to see if their defense roll is higher than your attack roll.
Wonderful.
And for the listeners, in No Port Called Home, the attackers roll a dice and add their attack modifier to it, and the defenders roll a dice and add their defense modifier to it, and the defender, I believe, wins ties? Wins ties, yeah. Probably. Anyway, so go ahead, Ivy.
Ivy has rolled a 19 to attack.
You hit them. They had a 6 and they added 4.
Wonderful. Then she will roll her 2d8 to attack. That is a 14.
Describe what it looks like as you hit and dismantle one of these three in a line. There's the left, the middle, and the right one. Describe it.
She will go for the one on the right, and she will stab her sword directly through its flat head screen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
With a zap and you guys ever seen a flat screen TV get punched?
Or shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cracks appear on the screen and it goes black, and the whole apparatus stops advancing towards you.
And she looks at the other two and she says, "Do you want some of that, or should you just stop the ship now?"
They continue advancing towards the party and you, and they say, "We must bring the musicians to the mothership." It was written
I'll
as,
say it.
"He sounds bored," and I'm like, okay.
I'll say it. These guys are not very good at battle fibbery. Whatever the word for talking in battle is, that is
Banter.
banter. Thank you. These guys are not very good at banter. I should know, as the king of banter.
Colette.
She's going to copy what Ivy did, so she's going to move and attack. They don't seem very negotiation friendly. So 10.
A 10 to hit.
It has a 9. You hit it. How much damage do you do?
12.
12 is less than 14. It seems like it's still up, but just a little. Electricity zaps across the metal surface of its arms and fingers.
That's not good.
Fennis.
Right then? Well, since these things are clearly some sort of electronic creatures, I have electricity bullets. However that actually is in world. But we're going to say that Fennis has some sort of flinging lightning device. I have no idea what shocking bullets would look like. I genuinely can't even picture that. But he does have that.
You ever played Super Smash Brothers? And the Pikachu can stand on the edge of a ledge, and if you press B, it'll shoot like a little zap, like that floats across space in a straight line until it reaches the surface, and then it like arcs.
That works for me. So Fennis does a Pikachu blast. I'm going to attack the closest one to me of whatever these things are with my shocking Pikachu blast. Thunderbolt.
Do you hit the one that has 2 hit points or the one that has 14?
I will aim for the closer to being defeated one, because I'm not 100% I could kill with this. This just means, the fact that I'm using that just means that I have +2 electric damage, and that's it. In mechanics, I'm using a 2d8 revolver.
A roll to hit?
I will do that right now. So not great. Fennis rolled a 3. That's a 4 to hit.
I have mixed news for you. Their number was overall a 5. The reason why that's a mixed news is because it was a natural 1, which means a natural 1 always fails. So you do hit them because they rolled a natural 1.
I'll take it.
Describe the zap.
So, as Fennis throws out his Pikachu blast with some sort of random device he picked off of his belt, there's a lot of stuff in there. He throws out that blast and it just... I want to make a noise. My instinct is to make a noise, but also that's going to look awful on the waveform. So just imagine a lot of... I hit my mic again. He gets hit with electricity in a very boisterous way that I can't express at this moment in time.
Taking it down. There's only one left. Tord, it's your turn.
Tord's going to pull that special arson weapon out that he didn't get to use earlier, the flamethrower. He's going to wield it with 2 hands, and with his friends behind him, he doesn't want to hit them, so he's going to try to run up to the last one and slam the front of the flamethrower as quick and hard as possible into its little TV face as I can, wedge the barrel in, and see if I can't blast it with some flames. So I get a I get a +1 to my attack rolls because of my, where is it here? I forget where it is, but I do get a +1 here to two-handed weapons, I believe. And I am also going to use my chosen foe, which is for my champion class. So I choose one particular enemy. It gives me a +2 advantage on attack and defense rolls against this target, but also a -2 to attack and defense against all others. So I'm going to choose the last one that's left. I'll add 3 then to my roll. That is 12 + 3 for a 15.
Okay, they rolled a 13, which means that adding 4, they have a 17 to defend. They dodge and duck. The flamethrower goes up, but too high because it didn't catch on them. And they go under your arm and roll behind you.
Oh, these guys are a little bit tricky.
We're to their turn. They're going to, well, it's the only one that's left. Hey. It's going to make an attack. It's going to roll to hit you from behind. It rolled that's an 18 on the dice. +2 is a non-natural 20. Does that hit you? Go ahead and roll your defense.
So I get a -2 because of my chosen, it's my chosen target, so not a -2, sorry. So that's only a 10 + 1 for my defense, so an 11.
That is lower than a 20. It does hit you, and it says it does 2d6 lightning damage. I'm going to roll this now. 12.
Oh, a little bit of help here, guys. A little bit of help.
We're back to Ivy as it zaps Tord.
Oh no. Ivy is going to twist around and say, "No, not my friend." And she's going to stab at it.
I stab at tell me your attack, and I'll tell you its defense.
Wonderful. That is a
19 defense, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because I plus my 2 plus my 1, 22.
You hit it. How much damage do you do?
Oh, let's find out. 11 damage.
It has 3 hit points left to describe the stab.
She will disconnect it at its neck part and send the screen flying with her sword.
It's somehow still rolling around. How is it managing that? Colette, it's your turn.
All right. Colette is going to also stab at it with her own sword. So that is a 9.
It misses. Fennis, we're back to you.
Okay.
And just to raise the stakes, Tord, how many hit points do you have left?
5.
Fennis, where do you?
I think 13?
To hit?
Wait, what?
Is that your to hit?
To hit?
You
No.
rolled a d20?
You asked me how much health I had left.
Oh, sorry. What's your to hit, Fennis? If you're attacking it.
I think I'd actually like to not attack it for this turn, but... So just to clarify, to make sure, before I say anything, the current locations of everyone. So Tord is in front of this last one, and Ivy and Colette are also around that same machine, striking range?
Yep.
Yeah, it's very close quarters. There's 10 feet across, from the furthest of you guys apart, because this is a 30-foot diameter shuttle, and they were coming towards you, so there's only 10 feet distance between the furthest of you apart.
Okay. Then I will not do what I was going to do. I'll just attack. Fennis is going to attack.
Yeah, what's your to hit?
Fennis rolled a 16.
They got a 7 on their defense. Heyo. It only has 3 hit points. How much damage did you do?
Fennis rolled a 4 and a 3, so a 7.
Describe what happens.
So, Fennis uses just a regular projectile this time. More specifically, the same gun that he used to shoot his friend earlier is now being used as a tool to vanquish evil and destroying this mysterious, rude robot.
You've done it. You're alone in this sphere. A sea of blinking lights and buttons cover control panels in all directions in this 30-foot diameter sphere. The shuttle and its theater hall cargo are currently on a course for the mothership, where the 2 musicians are going to be taken aboard and the rest of you are going to be spaced. As in the verb, spaced. If my players could please consult page 30, the different things you can try are listed there. There are 4 stations in this shuttle: engineering, piloting, gunning, and systems control. Who's manning what station?
Well, Ivy has a 5 in piloting, so she might sit down in the pilot seat and say something along the lines of like, I saw my mother play a space pilot in a play one time, so I feel like I could maybe figure this out. So like I might try this, unless somebody thinks that they can do this a little bit better than me.
Nope.
Definitely not.
You look fantastic, so elegant, so graceful in that pilot chair.
Thank you. She like fluffs her hair a little bit. She's pretending she knows what to do.
Colette will jump into the gunning seat.
What are the spots left?
Engineering and systems control.
I suppose I shall do systems control. I remember having good stats for that.
The last time I was on a ship, it was in the water, but my friend Demian, he was a very good engineer. Maybe I might have picked up a thing or two. Maybe I'll find my way over to the engineering bay.
Excellent. We're going to go in this turn order. Engineering, which is Tord. Piloting, which is Ivy. Gunning, which is Colette. And systems control, Fennis. First up, there's nobody who knows what's going on manning this ship anymore. The door that was over there and it was open, it is stuck open. Not that you may have noticed. So you might not have noticed, but I'm just saying broken door. Oh wait, no, it's stuck closed. That's right. It goes like the timer went off and it closes and the air starts to get stagnant in here. So there's a minor malfunction of a broken door, and although you don't know it yet, a critical malfunction. The air got stagnant. It says, engineering. Throughout battle, many things will usually be going wrong at the same time. Multiple systems will be under stress, and malfunctions, both minor and major, are liable to crop up. I've designed it for there to be more things breaking per turn than you can fix.
How kind of you.
And then detailed rules for this engineering section are provided in repairs and malfunctions on page 29. And then it does say repairs. To repair a malfunction, you diagnose the problem and you propose a solution. You roll an engineering check DC 15. This is 1 beat of time.
Okay. I will see if I can fix door. I guess add engineering to that, which is a +2. And that's a 17 + 2, 19. So diagnosing the door. I think my manual diagnosing is probably taking the pull-up bar that I received last time, jamming it as hard as I can into the door and seeing if I can do some kind of override of some kind.
Success! The door that was broken is now able to be opened and closed again. And that's probably good because that means you guys can now exit the shuttle. The door is now resolved. We've done that one. Now what's not resolved and you don't know about it yet is the air is getting more and more stagnant. We're moving on to piloting. Piloting, can you just read what your rulebook says? Quick summary.
Sure. If you're sitting in the pilot's chair, it is your job to control your location on the battlefield. Each turn you may pick one action you want the ship to take, such as evasive maneuvers, hide among the debris of the space station, and I roll a piloting check versus opposing ships.
And your challenge is the mothership is pulling the shuttle in closer to it, leaving the planet.
I would like to perhaps do evasive maneuvers and or turn the ship around.
What do you roll?
Perhaps just my piloting roll. That is a 12 + 5 for a 17.
Also succeeds. Describe the distance between the mothership and the shuttle.
I guess we were maybe halfway there, and now we're not moving further, but perhaps not moving back yet.
Very good. If that's what you want, you succeeded. That's what you get. Next up is gunning. Can you describe your role in a quick summary?
So Colette is going to fire at what she thinks
I love Colette this episode.
Yeah, she's going to fire a spaceship, a spaceship gun. Why not? She's going to fire a spaceship, the weapon, whatever it is, at what she thinks the bridge might be. So I guess, or failing that, just shooting at the ship. Why not?
Colette shoots first.
So the pilot has not successfully lined up. So it's just just her attack bonus. So that is a 10. So it's an 8 on the die plus her attack bonus is 2.
Okay, well, they weren't expecting it. And you're in no way an enemy to them. So you do hit, and you said the bridge. So you do hit the bridge of the mothership. This means that the tractor beam gets disconnected. So, like, The thing that was pulling you in closer to that ship is the tractor beam pulling the shuttle closer to the mothership has been destroyed by your guns. Excellent, excellent. The screens which make up the walls zoom in on the place where it is exploding and then zoom back out so you can see the mothership. Okay, we're on to systems control. Fennis.
Yes.
The lights go out. If everyone thought their panels were hard to operate before, try it in the dark.
So I suppose the first thing I'll do at the system hub is turn on the lights.
Yeah, let's read your systems hub. It says, the skill checks most associated with the systems hub are computing, perception, and social checks. You have command of all the ship's subsystems, including lighting, doors and airlocks, repair assistant drones, sensors, shield modules, external claw arms, the ship's firewall, star chart, internal archives, anti-personnel turrets.
Okay. So for turning the lights on, would a perception check apply to that?
No, I think this is probably computing or... Yeah, you can roll computers or engineering for this.
Oh no. Fennis has no choice but to navigate this computer.
You can do this, Fennis. We believe in you.
Well, Fennis has no ranks in computers, but he did roll a 16.
You succeed. The lights are back on. Look at that.
This was the climax of the adventure. Just finding the right button.
We're back to engineering. Toward a pipe bursts and is flooding water all over the panels of fancy buttons. That's your minor. And then as a major, a sound happens, and the sound says, reactor overload warning. Reactor overload warning. And as the advancement of the critical malfunction, it gets really cold in here.
And do I still have the critical failure or the critical issue from before with the stagnant air then as well?
Yes, and that's what's getting really cold in here. The life support is down, so the air is stagnant and cold. And the reactor overload warning announcement is your current, this turn's critical malfunction. So you're on step 2 out of 3 on the critical malfunction of life support being down, and you're on step 1 of 3 of the reactor overload warning announcement. And also there's water just flooding everything. That's your minor one.
You guys, I fixed the door. It's a little bit wet here now. Maybe you shouldn't have fixed door. Maybe you should have prioritized the fact that the air wasn't on. I'm going there now. Don't you worry. Tord is on it. I'm going to head for life support and see if I can figure out this air problem.
Okay, and also my apologies. I think door would have been systems control, so my bad. I'm learning. Okay, so you're going to fix what? And let's see your roll.
The life support. So I have a +1 skill bonus to fix machines, but I guess first I need to, if I'm reading this correct, first I need to diagnose the issue and see what's actually wrong with it first before I can fix it, or?
Yeah, so this is a one-shot game, and we don't have time to do a space battle all episode. We don't hardly have time to do any space battles. So you can skip the diagnosing. You can go right to the trying to fix it. But I would encourage everyone listening to play this as a game that they play over and over when you have space battles that last like 2 hours. And there are definitely cool mechanics for you to play that we kind of have to skip the diagnosing step here.
All right. I'll go over diagnosing straight to hitting with this big wrench. See if I can fix.
A Brogain adjustment.
I love that.
That's a 16 plus, I'm assuming engineering, I would say. So a +2, and then a +1 for my workman's tools. So what did I say, 16, so that's a 19.
Success! And that was the life support that you were trying to fix?
Yes.
A blast of fresh air hits you all.
Guys, I beat this machine into doing what I wanted it to do. I just continue doing that as I go through ship. I've got this figured out. Easy. Demian has nothing on me. Nothing at all.
That was a great relief. That you fixing the air conditioning. I was thinking the moment we walked into the theater, it is musty in here.
These pants are making me sweat in places I didn't know I could sweat.
We're on to piloting. Ivy, you've broken free of the tractor beam and are listing heavily to the left. The floor is starting to become the ceiling.
Oh no, we can't do that. Ivy will try to correct our balance. She will try to balance us and also begin the descent. Yes, with her sweet, sweet piloting skills. Let me roll those. That is a nat 20.
Nice. Okay, I've removed a later check because of that nat 20 in piloting just now.
Thanks.
My goodness. Yeah. Describe that.
With her skills from watching her mother rehearse to be a pilot in a play at another time, Ivy presses the right button and spins the right ball on this map, and maybe we do a little bit of a loop-de-loop, but we get there perfectly, and it's just a fun ride for everyone. And then the ship starts to descend.
You're descending. Woo!
Yay.
Yay.
Yay!
And she looks around and she's like it's hard. I got this.
Did anybody else's ears pop?
What?
Ivy, honey, you still have the necklace, don't you?
She spaces for a second and then she realizes that was what she was here doing. And she goes, yeah, I put it on Duchess. And you
Duchess
look
on
at
the
Duchess.
ship? I just realized that.
Oh yeah, the pangolin is with us. The pangolin is holding on for dear life below the pilot's chair, I guess, and has a giant diamond necklace around its neck and a tiara on her head. So she's looking real fashionable right now.
Yeah, she is. Colette. The screen zooms in again as the shuttle detects auto detection of lasers firing up from the mothership.
The mothership's still shooting back at us?
The mothership is going to be firing back at you very soon.
All right, so Colette is going to aim, having killed a lot of people already, she will aim at one of those laser banks, I guess. So let's see that roll. That roll is a not very good roll. It is a 7 total.
You miss. You wish you could understand the intricate, yet interestingly, native language on this keyboard. This is the language you speak. This is whatever that is. But it's using jargon that you don't recognize.
Sure.
Systems control, Fennis.
Yes.
The ship seems to be doing things that you don't understand in systems control. What's weird is that bubble thing that ice was forming on, it is less solid now, and it is more letting the air out. All of your air is rushing out of it.
Well, that's not very good. Okay. So can I roll a perception check to figure out which button will make that stop happening?
Yes.
Brilliant. Less brilliant. I rolled a 7. I have 7 ranks in perception. So it's 14 if my math is correct.
It is.
Oh, so close. You think you've solved it, but you haven't. The air continues to escape, and let's note that although you guys are in the shuttle, everyone in that LaRue theater needs that air.
Oh, yeah, that.
So Fennis has pressed a button, and a distant toilet flush can be heard. Well, I think that's not it.
Tord, we're back to you. The things that are happening this time are the cannon is miscalibrated. And also, you fixed the life support so that doesn't shut down. Good, you don't take cold damage. The reactor failure changes to reactor failure imminent. Reactor failure imminent. And the lights start shining too brightly in here. So let's just say that now. You've got the minor problem. Oh, and you didn't fix the plumbing, so it's just leaking. When you guys did the barrel roll, it was like the inside of a washing machine.
Oh, God.
That is why the cannons are miscalibrated, because the instrument panel shorted with the water. So you have faulty plumbing, a miscalibrated cannon, which will affect Colette's turn, the critical malfunction of the reactors on stage 2, and the third critical malfunction is the lights have started shining too brightly.
There's lots of things going on. Maybe I don't have this as pieced together as I thought. A little bit of a roller coaster of emotions here. Let's head back to reactor. Don't like imminent. Don't really know what that word means, but does not sound like a very strong word. Straight to reactor for Tord. And I get there and I see, I'm assuming, an overloading reactor here.
Oh, well, you just pull it up on the screen because you are just in a 30-foot diameter sphere.
Gotcha.
And you've got a schematic of it looks kind of like a cylinder.
Okay. I'm going to, like Iron Man, or like if you've ever seen one of those balls that you pull and it expands. I'm going to expand this little globe of the reactor. And I guess taking a page from Fennis's book, I'm going to do a perception check to see if I can figure out what's going on with this reactor.
Yeah. What's your result?
It's a 15 plus 2 on my engineering, so 17.
One of the regions in the reactor is pulsing in a color.
I press that color. I'm assuming it's a touch screen of some kind, or you can interact with it in some way. So I touch that color and see if I can, with moving my hands around like Doctor Strange, figure out how to extrapolate this thing, get it back to working.
When you touch it, it pops up a message, turn it off and turn it back on again? Question mark? Y/N.
The files are in the computer. Yes, I hit yes, reboot.
And it works again. Yay, I'm going to scratch that off. You guys aren't going to take radiation damage either.
That's always nice.
That's a relief. Yeah.
We got this figured out. Fennis, little lack of oxygen. I figured out my oxygen. Can you figure out your oxygen?
Don't worry, I hear that people think at their best when lacking in oxygen. So I'm sure...
Was that a toilet I just heard flush over here?
Yes. That could have been on purpose if I were trying to flush a toilet somewhere.
Ivy, take us down. Finish this.
Ivy is gonna try and finish this with her sweet, sweet piloting skills. Let's all hope and roll. Okay, that is an 11 plus 5, so a 16.
Woo! These were all DC 15, everybody. Good job. You did it. You're safely free of the tractor beam, and the mothership doesn't look like it's pursuing. Whew. The shuttle carrying the theater gently floats back to the planet. You all see an amazing view on the illusion screen. There's the country of Guasso, the city of Nicomoy, the glaring hole where the theater used to be. Ivy sets the theater down, and the computer makes a happy beep boop 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 beep boop song, and with a jolt, suddenly everything loses power. It's all turned off.
So we did it. We should get out of here, quickly, before it starts up again.
So I'm not usually one to commit a heist, but is this usually how they go, on average?
No. The first half, maybe. The other half, not so much.
Welcome to No Port Called Home. I couldn't just not do the rules. I love rules.
Also, we discovered there are aliens. That's exciting.
And strictly speaking, it's a backstory character who's really smart and made a spaceship.
Who my character has no canonical knowledge of.
Right. So this is how you first met. Now you know that face, Fennis.
Let's exit and also maybe get your friend some medical help, and also maybe all of us some medical help.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then also get this diamond to that lady so she can pawn it.
We're going to fast forward a little bit. The lady has been dropped off at medical help, and you all have been fully healed from medical help. It is 11 p.m. What do you do?
Colette will say, this was a terrible first date, but what would you say to a second to Ivy?
That was actually a pretty fun first date if you really consider it, considering that we survived. So I'd be fine with that, but I think it's going to be really hard to top this one. So let's see. Let's
make it a little bit less going into space.
No, now we have to actually go to space. That's what I'm saying. Can't just go to a movie when you've gone to space.
I'll see what I can do, Colette says.
Okay. Also, we should probably sell this diamond so like that lady can open her soup
We're
kitchen
giving it
again.
to the lady. The lady's selling the diamond.
Oh.
And then giving us a portion.
So I guess we like head back to the soup kitchen and give her this giant diamond?
She is not there. To clarify, she is seeking medical attention elsewhere.
Oh. Did we see her
right.
at the medical help?
No,
She was shot in the knee with an arrow. Multiple arrows. I guess we should go meet the pawn shop people ourselves and like sell it.
To the meeting that she arranged?
Yes, with the white pawn. Did she tell us where she was meeting them?
she did. Did anybody write it down?
Was it the White Pawn? Or did you just make that up?
That is the name of the pawn shop that she told us, but I do not recall where she told us that it was.
I'll give you it this time because you're new to my style of DMing. But in the future, you'd be so up a creek. It is on the corner of Sycamore and Holly.
All right. Then we will definitely go to where that is.
Is everyone in agreement?
Sounds good to me.
Yep.
I make sure to flip the boa over my shoulder as we make our way over.
That needs to be in your character description now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You arrive at the White Pawn, the pawn shop Laurel pointed out earlier, which is on the corner of Sycamore and Holly. The sign on the door says closed.
Well, it looks like we'll have to guard this necklace until tomorrow morning.
Why don't we try knocking on the door and like see if maybe they're just in there and they're just pretending to be closed because this is like a clandestine meeting. Ivy's gonna knock on the door.
She looks at Colette is going to look impressed that Ivy knows the word clandestine.
If you guys were a real life couple, I'd send you to counseling.
Right?
Yeah, we just started. They just started too.
I'm learning so much about Colette right now. And what she really thinks about Ivy. Does anybody answer at Ivy's knock?
Yes. From within, the voice calls. It's unlocked.
Oh.
Well, Ivy will open the door.
It's dark in here, but when you enter, and I'd like to know who enters.
Ivy
Colette will
enters.
enter. Colette and Ivy will.
Fennis and Tord?
Yes, we follow in, or I follow in. I don't know about Mr. Tord.
I'll guard the door, I think, or I'll stay nearby the doorway.
Okay, are you in or out?
I'll stay out to guard the doorway.
Noted. Okay. You don't get to participate in the following. It's dark in here, but when you enter, the torch lights with a whoosh of flame. The dim light backlights a figure sitting behind a counter, and multiple figures standing along the walls. 10 figures. That's actually a lot of people standing in the shadows. Everyone but Tord, please roll for your people reading stat and tell me the result.
I got a 18.
I rolled a 17, and with people reading, that's +4.
10. 10 with her +2 bonus.
It's 21 for simple math.
Fennis, you sense that something's off. What would you like to do, and what skill are you using to accomplish it?
Well, if something is off, I would like to use my skepticism feat to figure out what exactly is out of place to roll.
Read your skepticism feat. Read your skepticism feat.
When I'm reading it out now, this might have needed to be used earlier. So it says, gain +3 on all perception and people reading checks made to notice if something is nonsensical or out of place. If an animal is not native to a particular environment, if an employer is leaving out critical details, etc. From time to time, your GM may inform you when something is happening that is not normal according to your expertise.
This is not normal according to your expertise.
And what expertise that is will remain a mystery. Is there anything specific about what is out of place?
Nope, I'm just giving you a chance to do something before I end the session.
I would like to shoot a flare.
Indoors?
Indoors?
It was very dark in here, and I feel my first instinct to shed some light.
That's one way to bring some light.
And I have flares that my revolver can also shoot, which I'll say for flavor is not a revolver, but is some sort of launching device.
What is your goal? And what are you rolling?
My goal is to reveal everything in the room to see if something is hiding in the dark or just general. It's very dark in here. Maybe some light would help us get some bearings. And am I rolling to shoot the flare or rolling for what happens after the flare?
Your choice. Pick any skill you'd like. There's like a bunch of them, 24 or something.
Then I will pick perception again.
All right. Because of this roll, I'm going to say in future adventures, you can identify every single person who was in this room. All of you who are here.
Oh,
except
wow.
Tord. Sorry,
Cool.
Tord. Tord nodded sadly. Sorry.
Fennis is on a roll. I just rolled an 18 plus 7 from perception. That's 26, I think.
Absolutely. You accomplished this. You all have faces in your memories. Very good. I'll tell you after the session who those faces are, maybe. Yeah, you'll find out in a second here. All right, so is that what you do? Yes, that's what you did. Okay. And for Colette and Ivy, your characters find it normal that this level of high-value interaction would include a security guard, and you proceed as usual. A woman with brown hair, fair skin, and brown eyes, sitting behind the counter, says, "Do you have the Mountain of Light? I have the 2 million gold, as agreed."
We do. And do I recognize this woman? Or does Colette recognize this woman?
Nope.
We do. She's going to be perturbed at the need of a flare to light the room when there could have been just, a switch. But Ivy, she'll say.
Okay. I mean, like, it's here, and it has, like, a chunk of Mirabella's hair still attached to it. She's like, sorry, you'll probably have to clean that off, but here you go. Money, please.
She lifts the gem carefully, puts it on a scale. She pulled this out of its prong setting. The scale over and under corrects, then very slowly reaches a precise measurement. She lifts the gem carefully and puts it in a bath of water. The water that flows over the edge she weighs. She nods and hands it to a shadowed figure, who takes the Mountain of Light into another room. As she turns back at you, the quiver of arrows has fletching in it that you guys remember, because you pulled those arrows out of your legs. And as she looks up at you, party, she says, "The Safiosi accept your interest payment, Firebreathing Kittens. The interest and balance of the debt of Dr. Laurel Ravenwood, mother of your Firebreathing Kittens member, Errol, has been completely settled. It was nice doing business with you. Goodbye." Boom! Smoke fills the room, and you all cough, falling to your knees. When you rise, the room is empty, and you're the only ones here. Would you like to hear some epilogues?
Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yay! If they're able to get money for Dr. Laurel Ravenwood's charity, Nicomoy's Helping Hands. Nope. If they stole a gem from Maribel Noble. Yes. The next morning, the Celebrity Rag has a new front page story. Maribel Noble's classic necklace with its star gem, the Mountain of Light, has been stolen. Maribel has vowed to investigate the crime and get revenge on whoever's responsible. Which, because the Safiosi arranged it, is you. If they take the gem to a different pawn shop, nope. If they are not able to get money for Dr. Laurel Ravenwood's charity, Nicomoy's Helping Hands. That's true. You just settled her debt. An elderly person looks sadly at the paper attached to the door of the charity soup kitchen. Temporarily closed, the sign says. Their stomach gurgles audibly. Meanwhile, in Kif Fasti, the home base of the Safiosi, a grand festival is held with free food and entertainment for all. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Joining us today were Colette de Winter.
Worst heist ever.
Oh no, Tord Unfrid.
See you all on an adventure very soon. Hopefully I find more uses for this handy pull-up bar.
Fennis Lightwall.
I really think things would have gone differently if we had gone with my plan D.
They would have. By the way, the face of the person who shot you was Camilla Safiosi. And she was the one on the right building. Anyway, and Ivy Green.
Well, at least we had fun
That we did.
and discovered aliens.
Bye.
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 See you.
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
It's that part of the show where we tell you about a podcast you might enjoy. Have you heard of Psychologically Minded? Join Grace Fowler, a real-life psychologist in training, as she makes sense of pop culture and all things internet. So much of the content we consume can be looked at through the lens of psychology and teach us more about the world/ourselves. Each week, she breaks down a different show, movie, album, or internet trend and pairs it with relevant research from the field of psychology. Sit back, relax, and enjoy each episode. Check out Psychologically Minded, a podcast.